bullshits.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Coming this spring to MXNBC, a groundbreaking series that will change the U.S. government and the world forever. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, under the direction of former star of The Apprentice, Donald Trump, will challenge 3 million contestants to carry their load or hit the road. That's right. We'll be asking every government employee to prove their value.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Just like in a good old-fashioned meritocracy.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in. What would you say it is that you do around here?
I mean, a lot of days I really do stuff. It's just there's not that much going on today.
I helped Tanner and Blaze replace those heavy 5-gallon water containers.
Tune in each week as Elon and Vivek measure every federal employee's value and efficiency.
And time. So your study on how cocaine enhances the sex drive of Japanese quail. What's that worth to the American taxpayer?
I think it's priceless.
And get ready for the savings as those that don't make the cut get shown the door.
The president wants to tell you something.
Firstly, thank you for coming in today. And second, you're fired.
The Emmy Award-watching viewers of Deadwood and Idiocracy present Doge Days, the purge of the U.S. government.
There is a whole forest of dead wood out there. We got to get chopping, buddy.
Hello. Welcome to the shit show. I just love that video.
Doge Days coming.
I know. I'm going to start using it for every Friday shit show just because we need it. We need to know that goodness is coming. Help is on its way. Yay, or whatever. But how are you guys doing?
We just got to survive an extra month and a half.
Well, it seems like forever right now. I mean, we really might be put in that category, survival. You know what I mean? But I want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to my YouTube channel. As you can read on my banner, I made it to 1,000 subs.
Yay!
I still have 1,800 hours of view time I need for people to watch my channel or whatever for me to ever get the chance to be monetized. But that's going to be a long time.
Yeah,
so,
let's not jeopardize
most everything I do is a short. But I just want to say thank you, Ruben and Orange Hat, for joining me tonight. Bruce was here for a little bit, but he had been up since 1 o'clock in the morning and said he said, I'm just not going to make it. I'm just too tired. So
He's not going to make it.
I said thank you though to him for stopping in and everything. But yeah, we've had a lot of stuff happening. It seems like one thing after the other. And what's interesting is a lot of it is weird, like it's just been some weird shit, going down. But there was a few good things that I noticed, because we don't just have to talk about election fraud and all that stuff anymore. Now that we had the red landslide go along, we can, put that to the back and just hopefully pray that Trump nothing happens to him, and then we can get him sworn in, and we'll get these people to work, and all of us working in our states to make sure that the people we put in our states do what we ask them to. The people that we voted in that are supposed to be MAGA, we got to make sure that they are MAGA. We got to make sure that they're saying, hey, we are going to do whatever Trump wants us to do. But
you can basically tell that
so
which ones are not. I mean, look at the ones that they absolutely do not want on his cabinet.
Yeah, I know. And we got a lot of rhinos. We got tons of rhinos. So, it's
every single Republican that votes no in the Senate, by the way, folks, you're going to be primaried.
Yeah.
We hope. That's what I'm saying. Some of the states are blue. They're not going to, they're going to do everything they can against him. or against us. The ones that voted for Trump, the blue states are going to fight to not.
It's red state senators some of the red state senators that are doing it, or that are trying to stop him too. And it's like, you don't get it. We gave him a fucking mandate, House, Senate, and popular vote.
Yep. Well, so hopefully we can.
Well, they're still counting some votes, and surprisingly, all of the congressional houses are flipping.
A couple of the California ones that were very
well. Every single one that I've seen where they took days and weeks to count, we lost all those. Well,
yes,
which I expected, because they take weeks so that they can make sure that they have the numbers they need to win. So, exactly. But that sucks. I feel sorry for those people in those states. If they didn't have enough people to go and vote and they actually won, well, you guys got a lot more work to do. I mean, that's just how I can see it. Yeah, but the first thing I wanted to share, I thought was awesome. It's a cool video I found on X, and it's in Tampa, Florida. Okay, let me minimize it.
Oh yeah.
Let me minimize it real quick. It says, watch this Tampa deputy. He learns that the suspect grabbed a woman and held her at knife point. He breaks a window with his bare hands, crawls through the jagged glass, and saves the woman with a perfect shot. Wow. Now, it's all blurred out, so you're not going to see anything gruesome or anything. But I just want you to see the heroic action, because you can see the guy right there before I start the video. He's the one with the knife, and they've already called 911, and the cops are there, and there's 2 cops, and they have body cams and stuff. So I don't see how they're going to say anything bad about it, because you could tell this guy, they did really well at staying calm and controlling the situation. So I just thought this was really good, because I really believe that we need to have more of this on the news. We need the people in the cities and in the towns and in the states to see what our cops do for us, what our paramedics do for us, what our soldiers do for us, what our police officers do for us, and we need to know. We need to see them in action so we can see the sacrifices they make for other people. Okay, and we're paying them barely enough. Like, we have a president that's right now, our president, that told our soldiers, instead of working to give them more money, because they were barely, they're below the poverty level, basically, he said, get on food stamps. I mean, that's what he said to our soldiers that are ready at a moment's notice to go and fight for us. Okay, it was sickening and disgusting. So this kind of stuff is important for us to share, that they put themselves in danger and they do what they have to do the job that we are paying them for in our towns. And when we push the numbers on the phone, 911, we expect action. We expect firemen. We expect police officers for whatever we need for the situation. And if we're just saying, oh, well, we don't need cops, we're going to have nothing but the Summer of Love. That's what we're going to have in every city, in every single state, if we don't start supporting the good cops and the good firemen, the good ones that are supporting us. But here we go. I want you guys to watch this video. It's really good.
Jason,
it's okay.
Put the knife down.
No, he's got it. He's got it.
He's got it. Shoot.
Like us.
I don't got it.
Bare hands.
Put the knife down right now. Knife down right now. Knife down right now. Knife down right now.
Put it down.
Put the knife down right now.
Put it down. You're gonna get shot.
Knife down right now.
Put it down.
Knife down right now.
Put it down. You're gonna get.
Jason.
So, to me, I could never do this job. I could never do that job. Nobody could pay me enough money and I don't think I could take the training, be prepared for it. Okay. And I have friends and family members that have been paramedics, have worked for 911, all that stuff. And I know I don't have the temperament to do that. And nurses, I don't know how some of them do it, to put up with some of the stuff they do, but we need these people. Every single town, every single city needs cops. We need firemen. We need paramedics. And if we don't start sharing the tough stuff like that, that shows what these people do when they're called, because they don't know. When someone says, oh, my husband's yelling at me and he's threatening to hurt me, we don't know for sure. They don't even know whether anything's going to happen, right? Most of the time they go and they just calm them down and they write a ticket or whatever to the person who called 911 or whatever, and then they leave. And then they think that a few days later they're going to go back again. It's over and over and over again. But that one time when they have to have something like this happen because the person is a threat and is going to hurt someone or kill them. Okay, and it's supposed to be someone they love. We don't know what the situation is, but the thing is, we need police officers and we need these people. So if we share stuff like this on Facebook, whatever apps that you're on, it's important because we want people to trust the police. And if we can weed these people out and show that there are still good cops and there's still good firemen and there's still good people in all these positions, then maybe we can make a difference in our towns and in our states. So that's one reason why I wanted to share that one. So the next one I have, let's see, which one is it? Okay, this one I thought was kind of funny, a cute little thing to kind of give us a giggle. All of us have a fear of something, right? Someone's fear, it might be heights, it might be claustrophobia, spiders, snakes, all these different things, right? Well, I found this video and it's of a man who is petrified of heights. So he's got his wife videotaping him crawling, basically laying on his stomach, crawling towards the edge of a cliff because he's trying to overcome his fear. And you got to start somewhere, right? But I wanted to share this because I just wish everyone had the support of a loved one or family members that will help you try to overcome your fear, whatever it is. Fear of like my mother was petrified to getting water over her waist. If she got water that got up to her chest out in the water lake, she'd start screaming. And she said she thought she was going to have a heart attack because her heart would just beat so bad because she was having a panic attack, basically. So what she do to all of us kids is she made all of us take swimming lessons because she said, if you're out there and you're drowning, I'm not going to be able to save you. You're going to die. So you guys are going to have to do it. But when she was older, like in her 60s, we were in Hawaii and she went out into the water with me in a tube and let me push her way out. I mean, I was swimming, so it was way over her head, but she stayed calm. and she knew it was way over her head, but she was able to let me keep going back to the shore, back out again, and finally until she could stand up and walk out till she was up to her neck and not be crying, you know. So everyone can do it. You just have to make an effort to start somewhere. Start the one day, take a step and see if you can make a difference. But I wanted to share this because I was so proud of this guy, and it's kind of funny, and he's even laughing at himself, and his wife is trying to laugh but not make him like he's a freak or something. But it's wonderful, and nobody around, it seems like they understand or whatever. They're not making fun of him or standing around staring. So I wanted you guys to see this. It's really good. But let me go for him to do it. But he did it and he survived. So now he can go home and say, I did it. Even though it was something so funny to us, people that aren't afraid of heights. But I just wish everyone could see something like that and inspire you to want to make a difference, to try to do something you've never done or something you're petrified of doing. Speaking in public, that's one that a lot of people just can't do. But I just wanted to share that because I just think that is, I'm proud of him, and I don't even know who he is, but I think it's great. And then I found this interesting tidbit. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's a woman who's talking about something she just found out about her cell phone. And I just wanted to share this because I didn't know about it. I thought it was very interesting. And almost everyone I know has a cell phone of some form. So I'm going to share this so that you guys can see it. Let's see. Let me make sure I click on the right thing. Okay, it's number 6. Hold on. That's a different one. Darn it. Why are these always out of the... Okay, here it is. Okay. This woman is talking to somebody about what she found out about her phone. It says, this is crazy. Did you know iPhones had this setting? So I'll make it bigger. I want you to listen to this. This is interesting.
Found this phone in its settings tells you how far it has to be off of your body to prevent cancer. It tells you if you go to your settings to general, you scroll all the way down to legal and regulatory. Who knew this was in the bowels? Do you see it?
I'm in it.
Legal and regulatory, click it. The very bottom one says RF exposure. That stands for radio frequency exposure. And then it tells you, mine is on the second paragraph. This must be 5 millimeter separation off of your body. It's about a pencil eraser. So they're covered when you get brain cancer because you put your phone to your head.
I always speak on speakerphone.
You bet you do. Distance is your friend with radio frequency, with electromagnetic fields. But they just came out with a study. It just literally, the further this is away from you, the better. We're seeing a higher rate of testicular cancer on young men because they put their phone. Get your phone out of your pocket. Get it away from your testicles.
That's crazy.
Yes, right? And so back when these were smaller and women put them in their breast, we saw breast cancers the shape of that lithium battery in there. This is radioactive. So you get it off your person. You speak on speakerphone with it, right? You don't put it up your head. You for sure don't have it on your head driving down the road in a metal tube where it's having to work super hard to find a cell signal. So it's putting out more electromagnetic fields. Yeah, this is a big deal. This was designed. You think Chick-fil-A is designed for addiction? This was highly intentional.
I thought that was very interesting. Have you guys seen that?
She's misleading. It's partially right, partially wrong. It's not radioactive. There's no radiation coming from the phone.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm talking about the setting on your phone. Did you guys go look at it while she was talking about it? It's very interesting because guess what? I take the phone all the time to the gym, and guess where I put it? I put it in my bra, but I'm not going to anymore. I was shocked. So I mean it. I really do. And if she's right about the shape of the battery and the breast cancer and that kind of stuff. Now I get exams, I do self exams, and I get my breasts done. I think it's like every 5 years or whatever. where they smash them in that machine. Oh my God, I hate it. I cry every time. It hurts so bad. But I just wanted people to see that, because to me, that is, I think it's important that you go and you read that. I'm going to share that little thing in the chat for everybody. The link, it's on X, just so you can go, so that you can look up where she tells you to look it up on your phone, because I think everyone needs to go and look that up and read it, because she's right. Because you hold it next to your head and you get brain cancer, and they say, well, you're a businessman, you're on the phone all the time, you're a realtor or whatever else. Well, because they put it on the thing, even though they know nobody hardly ever reads it, you can't sue them. So I think you need to read that. Yeah, I hate mammograms, so I'm really not wanting to do it. And I heard today, you guys all know American on X. He played a little thing that talked about colonoscopies. That was very interesting, about how they're not needed and they cause more damage than they actually help. And I've only had one. And they told me, my doctor said I should never have to worry about it, that I should just do the little thing where you put a sample in a little tube and you mail it out, they mail it off or whatever. So, I guess I'm pretty healthy. That's what they told me I could do. So, but yeah, I hate those machines. And I do my personal, check. And then if I think I have a lump or something, I have the doctor check again. But so far I've been pretty good. But, I don't know how you guys test. How do men test for their your privates for cancer? I mean, is there something for you?
Same principle.
You squeeze them and stuff.
Give them a squeeze, give them a jiggle, and then give them a
Well,
wiggle.
the thing is that I've been lucky enough to actually have women come to me and say, "Can you check my breast? I feel a lump." Actually, 3 of them have in my not my wife.
Honestly, that is what one of my doctors told me, that you should have somebody stand behind you, reach over and lift them a little bit and feel for lumps, because when you're doing it yourself, you can't really hold them. You see, like when you're laying on the bed and you have your arm up and the doctor's feeling, they're able to feel better because of the way you're able to move your arm. Now, if you're moving your arm around, it's hard for you to concentrate with your other hand to feel them. So it is really, I hate to say this, but it really is better if someone else helps you find out if you have any knots and or any lumps. So all I'm saying is that this made me think about it more, because it's actually in your settings in your phone. It really is there. So you volunteer? Well, I'll let you know if I need some help, because I got a boo-boo on my finger. Like, someone was laughing at me because remember I hurt my thumb and I had one of those little things on there. But the thing is, please read that and don't keep it in your pocket.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this much. When it has happened to me 3 times, like I said, but in all seriousness, when girls ask me, or ladies ask me that, they asked me and they were scared because they felt something and they were terrified, and they came to me because they could trust me to not do it in a perverted way, but to do it in a very good way. And there was nothing. They got a mammogram done, and they did prove nothing. It was something very small, but it wasn't cancerous, whatever.
Well, see, that happened to me. Okay, I was a teenager. My boobs were really little, A cups. I mean, I was older when I started to blossom or whatever.
You're a late bloomer.
Yeah, I was late bloomer. But the thing is, I found a knot, and it scared me. And my mom felt of it, and she said, she made me go to the doctor. And that's when I found out I have fibrocystic breast disease. Okay, what that means is I react with lumps and stuff if I get too much caffeine, things like that. And it causes my fibroid tissue to react in a weird way, and my boobs hurt. So I hardly ever go braless. I wear a sports bra at night that holds everything really tight, so they don't move around, and I can't run unless I have some real good support, because it hurts, especially if I drink like a cup of coffee, within 2 hours, I got I know I have pain. So I know I'm not the only person in the world, but you know, who knows your body better than you do, right? So if you notice something different or whatever, and you trust someone, like what Ruben said, listen to them and don't make fun of them because they say, hey, I think I have a knot. Try to be good to this person and help them and calm them down and make them say, okay, I do feel something, but more likely it's nothing, because most of the time it isn't anything. It's like a torn ligament, or it could be a hernia. It could be a lot of things. Even women can get hernias, you know, by picking something up that's too heavy. There's lots of things it could be, but most of the time it isn't anything really bad. It's just some kind of, you know, fat tumor or whatever. Because I've had 6 or 7 friends that found lumps and it ended up none of them had cancer. So
two slightly related stories to that, in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. When I was 22 years old, I was here in Chicago. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said to me, the first thing he said was, of course, do you drink? And I go, no, sir. He says, why not? You should be drinking. I go, okay, whatever. Okay, it's okay. You can drink. I don't drink that often. I'm not a drinker. But the thing he said that really got me, because he did a whole body exam. He goes, you know, coughed, all that crap. So how long has this ball been bigger than the other? And I went, how the fuck do I know? I don't touch my balls.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, I don't know how you go to the bathroom and all that stuff, but you have to bathe and all that stuff. So you think over time you would pretty much know whether one was bigger than the other.
No, but I don't touch
most
them.
women look in the mirror and say they have one or the other that's a little bigger than the other, unless you've had them made for you at the doctor's office, and they're probably perfect. But most normal women have one boob a little bigger than the other, and it's usually the hand that you write with, that side's usually a little bit bigger than the other one, the other side.
Right. Because there are some breast exercises that women can do to enhance their size.
Like this.
Yes.
Okay, and what that does is perk them up to make them so they stand up a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, because again.
But if you do too many exercises like gymnasts, you lose all of your boobs. And the reason is because breasts are made of almost all fat and your mammary glands.
Correct. Okay.
So if you it's just like doing sit-ups or any other workout, if you work that muscle too much, you burn off the fat and you won't have any boobs. That's why I'm very picky about all my exercising, to not do too many pictorial exercises to where I lose my boobs.
Yeah, there was
I'm happy to have boobs.
There was an Instagram post I saw yesterday. I gotta find it. It was of a model telling us all the things she ate differently to enhance her skin, make her breasts bigger, to make her skin glow, to make her hair thicker, all the different foods, and she listed them. I'll send them to you because it's interesting. Because again, I have seen the same thing. Because basically, it all boils down to one thing. Out there, everybody, the best medicine is food. The best way to take care of yourself is eating a good meal, and to avoid processed foods, to avoid processed radio frequencies from the phones and stuff like that. Is like this again. Sit down. Again, if you want to talk to somebody or chat with somebody, do it in person. It's better health for you. It's even more healthy than doing it like this. The bottom line.
I've only ever had one colonoscopy. I completely let's just say I lost time due to that, because when I went in, they gave me anesthesia to like 55 and 10, and I'm like, what's that, a football number? And I was out. The problem is they jarred me out of the anesthesia by scraping the intestinal wall.
Oh!
And they panicked and doubled the anesthesia.
Goodness.
And so I finally finished the procedure. They're like, they're not going to let you out unless that you show that you are wide awake. And also, I'm still groggy as hell and passing gas, which is normal after a colonoscopy. Yeah. And I'm saying, excuse me, every time I pass gas. And she's like, or my cousin's like, you don't have to say excuse me. It's all right. I'm like, it's hardwired. I was raised to say it. That ain't changed. So when I finally go home, I go to bed and I sleep 2 days.
What?
Yeah, I went to bed.
That was from the anesthetic, I bet.
I went home on Monday, and I came back, or I woke up on Wednesday evening, and I'm like, so did I miss my show? It's like, yeah, you missed it a couple days ago. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, wait, what day is it? Now, my aunts, who I was living with at the time, they're like, you have 2 days. I'm like, what? Yeah, we kept on checking on you every couple hours just to make sure you were still alive, see if you moved, see if you're breathing and whatnot. But yeah, you've been asleep for 2 days. I'm like, I am never going under with anesthesia again. But unfortunately, I had to. Last year, I had the operation to get a kidney stone out, and
oh shit,
also had to get blasted with the other kidney stone, and well, also I had knee surgery and a septorinoplasty surgery. So I've been under before or since that one time. But it's like, just be careful.
How many surgeries you been?
I've had like 5 procedures where I've had to go under.
5?
So,
not you, Jen. Either.
Yeah, I've had a couple of procedures myself, and each time I've ever done it, I threw up for 2 days from the anesthetic. Okay, so that when they did that to me, that's why they tell me that like I don't need a colonoscopy because I'm healthy and I've never had any problems or anything like that, and it's just not worth putting me under because each time they've tried to mix whatever it is that they mix, to put you out, to make it easier on me, you know what I mean? For me not to be nauseous about it, but I can help it. I'm sick as a dog. And the doctor always comes in. The nurse said, you haven't taken any pain medicine, I'm worried about you. And I said, I can't take anything. I can't stop throwing up because I have dry heaves, there's nothing in there. Wow. So it really sucks. So when you're allergic to so much stuff, it really is terrible.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm glad I haven't had any surgeries. God.
I had I believe I had the colonoscopy when I was 2011. The nose corrective surgery was 2013, knee surgery 2015, kidney stone blast 2023, ureteroscopy later in 2023. Yeah. I had all that stuff, and let me tell you, when you get a ureteroscopy, for those of you who are a guy in the chat, if they decide to keep a stent in you,
oh no,
that antenna sticking out of your thing is not going to give you free cable. So just hate to break it to you, and it's really
that sounds terrible.
It's really uncomfortable when you put your underwear back on, and it's like you stop poking. And it's like, holy
well, how would you not know it's there?
Oh, you know it's there.
Oh.
It's a super sensitive.
It's extremely sensitive. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Because it's also slowly coming out over the week that it's kept in. So, yeah, for a guy, it's like, you're not supposed to have something up in there.
Well, I tell people that about the other area all the time. Yeah. So I'm not into that stuff.
Well, obviously,
if you know what I'm saying. But this next thing I want to bring up, I was shocked as shit. Okay. I had not heard this guy. I had never heard anything about this. The last couple of days I've been real busy, but Bruce came on earlier to hang out with me while I was setting up, and he shared this with me, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm sharing this because I was really shocked by this, and I can't believe that everybody's not talking about it, but he shared it with me. So I got on X and started looking it up, and I found it. So I'm going to share it with you guys. And have you guys seen this?
Oh, the dumbass.
Release the viruses once Trump is sworn in. This guy.
This piece of shit.
What he's talking about, this is nuts. And what's scary to me is something's going to happen this month. I still believe it. I think it's going to happen. Hoping it isn't. I'm praying that it doesn't. But every time I hear this kind of crap, I get that much more nervous about it. But I wanted to play this guy, so I don't know if you guys have heard this. But listen,
if it does happen, I want this man arrested.
Yeah, I'm saying it for anyone. I mean, you guys have got, everybody needs to pay attention to what's going on around you. We cannot just walk around and think that everything's fine.
Yeah,
We got to wait until after Trump is in office and things start to change before we start letting our guard down.
Yeah, this is Fauci's retarded cousin.
Yeah, here we go. You guys ready?
Reason why we need to care about this stuff, Nicole, is that we have some big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st. Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1. That I'm really worried about. It's all over wild birds on the western part of the United States and going up in the north. It's getting into the poultry. We're seeing sporadic human cases, no human-to-human transmission yet, but that could happen. It's in the cattle, it's in the milk, and that's just the beginning. We have another major coronavirus likely brewing in Asia. We've had SARS in 2002, SARS-2, COVID-19 in 2019. And we know these viruses are jumping from bats to people thousands of times a year, but there's still more. We know that we have a big problem with mosquito-transmitted viruses all along the Gulf Coast, where I am here in Texas. So we're expecting dengue and possibly Zika virus coming back, or a Puche virus, maybe even yellow fever. And there's more. Then we have all this sharp rise in vaccine preventable diseases going up because of, in part, the anti-vaccine activism that's so prominent right now. We have a 5-fold rise in pertussis cases, whooping cough over the last year, 15 measles outbreaks this year. We've got polio that's been in the wastewater in New York State. All that's going to come crashing down on January 21st on the Trump administration. We need a really, really good team to be able to handle this.
Piece of fucking shit.
So, okay. The way he said this was very scary.
But you know why? You know why sorry if you were to say something. But I'm just saying, you know why he's saying what he's saying. Not the reason why you think he's saying it. It's he's blaming on Trump. But he's saying everything he said is attributed to one thing: illegal migrants coming over. Mm-hmm. They are the ones bringing all the fucking diseases over here. They're the ones doing it.
This is what's so funny. This is what I don't understand, and why I know that most of this is just a huge, big FU to us. Okay, is the fact that they exempted so many thousands, 11,000, 14,000, 25. I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people were exempt from the government. All the Postal Service people were exempt. I'm sure most of the people in office were exempt. If they just said, I don't want to get it, they didn't. And I'm sure some of the people that acted like they got one really didn't. Okay. But then they said, you had to get it. Your kids have to get it. Everyone has to get it, or you don't come to work, or you don't go to school. So basically, they forced us to get this shot. Now, I didn't get it. I just said, F you. I lost almost all my work because nobody would let me on a set because I didn't have it. And you had to have a card to prove that you did it. Now, I knew people that were faking cards and doing stuff like that, but I didn't want to get arrested or get in trouble for doing it. So I just said, no, I just can't do it. So I had to do other things. I did promo work and some other stuff where you didn't have to have certain things, or they didn't ask. If they didn't ask, that was great. I just didn't have to say anything. But the fact they're letting all these 30 million or more people that we know of, right, just wander over the border, and from the day they were born, they've never had a vaccine, right? So they still have the plague. They still have tons of diseases in these other countries that they're bringing in with them because they've never been vaccinated. Whooping cough. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff. There's just tons of stuff.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah, TB. That's another one. But it's scary. I mean, it's really scary what this guy's saying about how it's all going to unfold on the 21st. Now, I don't want to sound too paranoid, but I've been saying that I really believe that something's going to happen before Christmas because they do not want him ever to be sworn in. So I don't know what they got planned or who's got planned what, but somebody's got something going to happen because they've been flying all these people to strategic areas. They get backpacks and cell phones and money, cards with money on it, and they send them to specific places. What are they doing? Sitting around in a free house, because I'm going to show you some stuff here in a little while that I was shocked as shit when I saw these people and these nice places are giving these people to live in. It's really interesting. And if you put two and two together, why are they doing it? That's the thing. They know that.
By the way,
what?
The thing that everybody was waiting to happen already happened.
Which
you
thing?
see, it just failed because they were trying to scare the incoming administration off. So they decided over Thanksgiving to send them a bomb threat to his incoming cabinet, including my congresswoman.
Oh yeah,
Thankfully,
I remember all
she's
that
safe.
stuff.
But that's one thing that did happen. Yes, there's most likely going to be other terrorist actions that happen. And when I say terrorist, I do mean domestic terrorists, folks. If you are doing something for political intimidation purposes, that is the very definition of terrorism. As for this fear-mongering piece of shit, I'm not going to buy into anything this blowhard is actually saying, because that's all he is saying. It's nothing but a bunch of fucking hot air he's spewing just to freaking spread fear. And thankfully my headphones are in and whatnot, because I have a stepbrother who's autistic that believes every fucking thing he is told. And he's basically become an extreme germaphobe due to it. And he gets the COVID vaccines and all sorts of shit. It's like, dude, no wonder you're freaking old.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't believe in all the stuff he was talking about, because they've been saying that stuff for many, many years. And the same thing with what we just went through. Honestly, when it first happened and the way it was supposedly going through the planes and doing all this stuff in specific areas and all that stuff, it seemed like a plan.
And who are the healthiest people in America right now? By group.
Okay, that's how I looked at it. But also, remember when it was Obama was president and there was that one really terrible disease that came out? People were bleeding from their eyes and their mouths and everything. What was that called? Okay. Now remember,
bleeding out of the eyes was
Ebola. It was Ebola. Okay. But remember, they put him in that one hospital and they showed how the people were dressed head to toe with masks and their own oxygen and everything. Like, remember the movie Contagion that came out? They were dressed like that. They reacted like that. The people that were surrounding these people, trying to keep them contained and to keep the people safe. To me, honestly, if after seeing all that and seeing the procedures and then all the stuff happened and they had all these people in the nursing home and all this stuff, none of the nurses were dressed like that. No one was dressed like that. So I personally, as a person that's constantly washing my hands, cleaning and dusting and stuff and using eye drops and carrying an EpiPen and doing all this stuff, I keep my house as clean as possible because I'm allergic to so much stuff, right? I can't even pick something up at the grocery store that another person might have picked up with sulfur on their hands or, because lots of lotions have sulfur. I'm very, very clean. And when I saw people going in, having to clean their hands with the sanitizer, I was like, this is great. Because I was like, now I can grab a hold of the cart and whatever else and not be freaking out that I'm going to have my fingers all swelled up and rub my eye and my eyes swell shut, not because I thought I was going to die, simply from allergies. Okay. And to see this stuff happen, but to see the response to the COVID with the doctors and the nurses wearing a teeny mask that I know doesn't stop a virus, and your eyes wide open, that stuff can actually go in because you got blood vessels. I never took it serious. That's why I said this is not right.
The eyes get oxygen from the air. They don't. You don't get. That's how it happens. It's oxygenated through the air. Everything else.
Something flying and landing in your eye. Okay, and you rubbing it is going to rub something. It could bust a blood vessel, and guess what?
Both.
Now you have whatever that is in your blood. Okay, so your eyes would be covered. Why do you think the people for the Ebola, every inch of their body was covered? When you have a deadly virus, that's how you would dress, not flimsy mask and little gloves that can have a tiny little pinhole in it and get everybody sick. It's just ridiculous.
When it came to the Ebola thing, there was only one case in Africa, and it was contained in Africa. And then Obama's like, let's bring it over here. And I'm thinking to myself, are you a fucking retard, Obama? What the fuck would possess you to bring the only known case of Ebola to a nation that literally finally fucking killed Ebola? I believe it was like 50 odd years ago or some shit like that. And you're telling me that you're going to fucking bring that shit here so it can repopulate again? And guess what, folks? It fucking broke out. And that's why if it was up to me, Obama would have been charged with putting his entire nation at risk. I would have fucking had him impeached for that. Because it's like, dude, you literally endangered the entire nation by bringing Ebola, a fucking disease that has been out of generations separated from Americans, so they're susceptible to it now. You fucking retard.
Yeah,
and
it was. I was shocked.
As you guys were also saying, Biden should also be charged. Everybody's like, well, he's not all the way, or he's not all there. I don't fucking give a shit. Lock his ass up in a fucking straitjacket and have him piss in his fucking pants in a goddamn straitjacket cell, in a padded cell. I don't fucking care. The man deserves to have accountability.
I think anyone, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Anyone that purposely endangered people's lives, knowing the results, okay, should be punished. I don't care who they are. They should go to court, and whatever happens, all the stuff comes out. People should be held accountable. I don't care who it is. People would expect me to be held accountable if I did stuff. So they should, they put people in danger. They should be held accountable, period. I don't care who it is. And hopefully, if enough stuff goes, out and they investigate enough, we will have proof of any of this stuff, any of these things that are being done wrong, and purposely wrong. It's different when, somebody is giving medicine to somebody and they give them, too much or not enough. So they're not getting well fast enough because they're not giving them the high enough dose or whatever, because they read the bottle wrong or whatever. That's, people do that. People make mistakes. But when you purposely do something, like some of these nurses or whatever that have been convicted of what do you call it? Killing their patients by overdosing them and stuff like that. Right. They should be punished for it. You know what I mean? They hurt people knowing they were going to hurt them. And so those people should be held accountable. But I just thought that was just really scary. When Bruce showed me that, I was like, you got to be kidding. That is, I don't know. I just thought it was horrible that guy would say that stuff. And because it was almost like he was telling us he's going to do it. Not him, maybe, but someone's going to do it. That they're going to release this on January 21st. But I don't believe it's going to be that day, because I think if anybody's going to do something, it's going to happen before that, because somebody already tried to kill him. So they're going to try to stop him from being president, period. Because without him, they think they can control whoever else is going to be, whoever's going to take his place. So I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to bring up, hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick, because I'm so bad at this. Let me close that guy out. Okay, this is it's from TikTok, but I still think it's important. So here we go. I'm going to share it.
Go down TikTok.
Okay, because a lot of people think that we're no longer going to have it. Okay, this is one of the things that says TikTok is inching closer to a potential ban in the U.S. So what's next? So I'm going to go down here to this newscast, and I'm going to play this for you. Let me turn this up.
I'm Natasha Verma.
Make it bigger.
TikTok now one step closer.
You can make it bigger.
In the U.S. This follows a federal appeals court ruling earlier today. Teresa Priolo is here now to break down that ruling. Teresa.
It's all happening.
It is all happening, guys. This was a unanimous ruling by the appeals court. TikTok claiming the law is unconstitutional because it violates the First Amendment rights of the 170 million users who are on the app. But the court found national security trumps users' rights.
We just don't want it to be owned by the Chinese government. We don't want them surveilling Americans. We don't want a national security risk. So this is an opportunity for us to take a problem and turn it into a solution and fix the internet.
The Court of Appeals finding Friday the U.S. government offered persuasive evidence that shows divestment from TikTok was needed to protect national security. No. Companies owned by ByteDance, which has ties to the Chinese Communist Party. It has until January 19th to find a new domestic owner.
If there's a way that we can implement the law that an American company or a friendly nation can own TikTok, then TikTok should be able to continue in the United States. But we don't want to have the Chinese Communist Party accessing Americans' data.
The U.S. has said it's concerned about TikTok collecting user data, including sensitive information. Officials have also warned the proprietary algorithm that fuels what users see on the app is vulnerable to manipulation by Chinese authorities, who can use it to shape content on the platform.
There's an awful lot of data that's being collected by these other US-based companies that's not well regulated and could equally well be being used to spy on people in different ways. I think this is a situation where it's easy to blame a foreign company for something like this, and really Meta and others, I think, share equal, if not more, blame for a lot of the problems that we have with social media.
Now, TikTok plans to appeal this to the U.S. Supreme Court. Depending on what happens with that effort, if they don't find a domestic buyer, the App Store will stop offering the app in January, which effectively bans TikTok.
Wow.
Interesting. All right. So we continue.
Okay.
I'm all for it.
No.
I'm all for it.
No.
The one thing that I thought was interesting about the whole thing was the fact that, like I said, the way I was treated by Facebook, the way I was kicked in the shins over and over again with my first 3 X accounts, which was Twitter, and the fact that we had to, and then what was it, Parler, where you had to show your driver's license and give them all this information. And then the next thing you know, they used it against a bunch of people that they arrested for January 6th. And that was an American company. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing, this whole ban against TikTok, I think is going to backfire on like Meta and some of these other companies, because they think they got it made. They're going to push TikTok out of the way because YouTube is now doing shorts and wanting to copy the way that TikTok does shit, right? For their own benefit, because they think they're untouchable. They can shove you around and say they don't like your content simply because you have a different political point of view. Okay. Stuff like that. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen. Because, if they get rid of an app, that happens a lot. We've seen apps come and go, like, what was it? MySpace, Parler got taken down. And what was it? The Periscope. They're now using Periscope in X, right? To do spaces. So apps come and go. So to me, all these people standing on the corner, it helped my job and whatever else. I even have it. I have over 10,000 followers on TikTok. So yeah, I'm going to be sad when I lose it, because it was a lot of work that I put into it. But the thing is, that kind of shit happens. But the fact that it's going to hopefully make it to where it's harder for companies to be able to just steal information from you and sell your information to other people to make money so that they can,
What did you just, how make it strong? What do you mean? How will it make it harder for companies?
Well, I'm hoping that it's going to be more laws to say that they are not allowed to ask you for your driver's license. They're not allowed to force you to do certain things to use their app. That's what I'm hoping.
No, it's going to go the other way. Let's go ahead.
You think it is? It's going to make more people have to show more shit.
Well, that's what it'll do. Go ahead.
Make his
Orange.
point first.
No, you go, Orange.
The reason why I'm all for TikTok to be banned in the United States, unless it is owned by an American company, is because I do not trust China. China is an adversarial nation to our own. They are not an ally. They are not to be trusted. They fucking released a virus against the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that I am going to trust an adversarial nation with my data? Fuck no. Here's the thing. Say we were doing this stream on TikTok. So, not only would our data from our computers be given over to the Chinese, but visual data is also given. Say that there was a war being planned by China. They can absorb all the fucking background data on our computers from your freaking the background that you have, Janet. They could tell any sort of information from all your fucking videos, all our fucking streams, any sort of background information from what they're looking at can be used.
Mm-hmm.
This is
but who says they're not doing that already?
That's the point.
That's my whole point.
No,
you're
not
not. No, you're not. No, you're saying
everyone.
it shouldn't be banned at all. The communists, what China's doing, they're doing psychological. They use TikTok here. They don't use it in China because they're pushing the shit that's the garbage. All the social garbage we have. That's what they're doing. It's social manipulation.
They have a different
yes,
one for China,
social manipulation. Yes. Now,
but the thing is, they're still using our data.
But U.S. is doing it worse.
U.S. isn't planning. Well,
no,
U.S. doesn't need to invade the U.S.
No, but they're already doing it. They're doing it worse. And the thing is that anything on the computer, that's your fucking fault, idiots. If you have a computer and you're using Microsoft's notoriously spyware. And again, you install anything on a Windows computer, they read all your data. And then with recall coming out, it's going to read everything. So you'd be very, very careful. That's why I don't use Windows.
Yeah. By the way, incognito mode, folks, is it's fucking fake. By the way, incognito mode when they say, oh,
I've never used
so
it. The thing is,
shit that won't show
I
up
tell
in your
people,
search engine. Bullshit.
If you don't know someone, okay, this is what I try to explain to people. They'll meet somebody over the internet. Let's say it's on Snapchat or Instagram, okay, or TikTok or any of these apps, right? And then they're talking to somebody 3 or 4 times, and then they give them their phone number. And I'm like, you put your phone number over the internet in a app that they now can see, and whoever runs it, whoever's checking it or running it that day, the person that's in charge of whatever. And then you're giving it to someone you've never seen. You don't even know if it's a man or a woman, or you don't know anything about this person. You just gave them your personal information, like your cell phone. Well, I can tell you right now that they can use your cell phone on other apps now, put your number in and say that's you or them or whatever. And I tell people, don't do that. Don't give your phone number. If you're going to do it, try to do it at least over an email or something like that, that has some type of security, compared to just putting it in a chat in an app, because that to me is ridiculous to do that. It takes me a long time to trust somebody, even give them my phone number. I don't know. I just don't trust people. I've had threats and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just wish more people would be a little more secure with themselves and your own personal information. Now, me making this video here, I know it can make me vulnerable. I mean, that's why I like having some of this stuff that you can't see my office. You don't see what's behind me. I have a curtain, whatever else. But the thing is, they still have my face for facial recognition, things like that, or my voice. They can take my voice and use it to do different things. But, if I just go back and live on the farm and just go to the hoedown to have some fun, I guess I could live that life. I know a lot of people that do that. They never get online. They don't do any of this stuff. Okay. So, I'm in a very small group of people, because compared to the millions of other people that are out there, they just have a phone. It flips open and closed, and they don't even send texts. They just make phone calls, and that's it. So, half my family's that way. They don't. They might watch a little bit of TV news, and that's it. That's the only information they get. And to me, they're very uninformed about what's really going on in the world.
Yeah, 3 days.
But we all have to make those decisions for ourselves, of whether or not you want to read the fine print or not. And to me, what we're doing when us three started working and doing this show, we've helped people, I feel, by informing people actual facts or interesting things that, hey, you need to look into this and see if it can help you out. Or if you see what you can find out about it. Find out more information about it. So to me, I don't mind exposing myself a little bit. And I don't mean this way. I mean being out like this to help other people find out things they may not have ever heard of or may never have seen, or bring them some joy by playing live Dungeons and Dragons, on the weekend or stuff like that. I mean, to me, this is my life. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow and it'd be over. At least I know that people will be able to watch some of my videos and know a little bit about who I was, So to me, I look at it that way.
Yeah, two things. Basically, the idea that, Six Nations Kings put out there, we are the product now. We have been the product since the advent of the 20th century with Ford, what he's doing, what he did with, and Rockefeller setting up the schools where they are. And the perfect example was they said that college educated people voted for Harris. Yeah, college institutionalized people voted for Harris. If you were institutionalized, they got rid of the mental asylums and made
Orange
them
Head. Did you see this post?
What's to stop the Chinese from scrapping YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, background visual data, not to mention Google Street View? It's just as easy to do it through TikTok. Yes, it is. But through TikTok, they have absolutely no resistance.
They don't have resistance with the other ways, too. They can do YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. They can.
Well, visual data, yes.
Well, can I tell you something I think is kind of funny?
Metadata? No.
Yes, they can do the metadata. They can do it now.
I want to tell you guys something.
It's a ruse. Wait. This whole thing is a ruse. They already can do it. Basically, the reason that the government is trying to scare you and think about TikTok is because they want the control. They don't want anybody else to have control. But they already have control. China already has control. It's not about TikTok. It's all window dressing. United States government is the enemy of the people. They are doing it. They collect more data than anybody else. They've been doing this.
That's why I'm saying they don't want Trump in the office.
Right.
Okay. There's too much at risk because they want to shrink the size of government. Okay?
And here's the thing: if you use Google, or Alphabet, Google, well, you do because you use YouTube. That's Google.
Well, I mean, to search as a search engine is what I meant.
No, but again, if you use the internet, you use Google. Like you use Amazon. Even though you don't buy anything from Amazon, you use Amazon web servers, you use Google web servers, you use this data. So what you have to do, there are certain settings that you do in Google, in Apple, in all these things. They're not on. That you turn everything off. I do it. Like my YouTube, I get no recommended. I got nothing. I turned that all off. I have nothing. When I open up my web page, I have no advertising. Nothing. I've locked everything down. I don't get ads, I don't get anything. But again, I'm an IT guy, so I know this shit. I know what I need to shut down. I haven't used Windows computer since 2000. I do like Apple. Because again, I finally got my iPhone back again, but everything's locked down, and I don't use it. Everything's locked down. I have 4 phone numbers I use. I have 2 phones, 4 phone numbers, and everything's compartmentalized down the line. That's what I do. But again, most people don't give a shit.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. And they'll just look, and that's what I'm saying. Going back to the whole thing. This whole TikTok thing, sell it to American company you want to. Keep it. I don't want to care, whatever. If you, it's the responsibility of the person who uses it. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it.
That's what I think. So I am 100% believe that it should be the responsibility of the person that purchased the phone or the computer or whatever it is to find out for themselves what they bought and what they're doing. Just like you would a car or a TV or a bra, any product that you purchase, you should have the right to purchase if that's what you want, as long as it's not a person.
Hardwick says it right.
But what cracks me up is this. What I get a kick out of is talking to people, real people, out in public. And they're saying, well, they are on TikTok. Okay. They have TikTok. They have Instagram. They're on Telegram. They're on all these different apps. And I talked to them a few times on those apps, through the app, talk to them. Right. And then later on, we were having a discussion. I'm not going to say who they are, but it's a couple of my friends. And we were having a discussion about this woman whose husband disappeared when they were on their way to I think I've talked about it before on the show, that he went off the road and he flipped upside down and he was hung in the van in some trees and nobody could see him. I think I remember telling you about this. And because of that happening, a whole conversation came up about this app that you can get. It's called 360 app. I don't know if you guys know about it, right? It's so that you can put your family members on it and then you can see where they're at. And remember, I told you there was a young girl who had that on her phone, a teenage girl, and she didn't come home and her mother was worried about her and she was panicking. She was calling all her friends, but she forgot all about the app that was on her daughter's phone, okay, because she was panicking at the time that she hadn't got there. And that's when she remembered it. After she called 911, the cops came to her house. She remembered their daughter had that app. So they got on the mother's phone and they traced where she was. And they walked all right because you could see this line going all through the woods, like she was running from something or something. And what she was. She was running from someone who was trying to kill her when she was on the trails. They find her, okay, and there's cameras on their vest. They find her laying sprawled out, half naked, in the bushes because of the app. Okay, this app, 360, and her eyes open. And they went, she's alive. And they start, doing it because they thought she was dead because she'd been missing for hours. But he tried to strangle her to death, but she lived. So they saved this girl's life because she had 360 on her phone and her mom was able, once she calmed down and realized, oh, I got this app. And if she has her phone on her, I'm going to find her. Now, the phone wasn't with her. It was near her, but they were able to find where she was because of the app on her phone. So I was telling everyone, you need to get this app. You need to get this app so you can keep track of your kid. You can find out, if your car breaks down, whatever. As long as you have a phone and it's charged, at least all the way up until where it stopped working, they can follow where you were. They can get closer to where you were at. And these people, these same people, they have all these apps on their phone, said, I'm not putting that on my phone. I don't want them tracking me. So I just laughed.
Yeah, but the thing is that
I know that these apps know where I'm at and that they can hear me. Because like I told you, your ad comes up on your phone that says, I was talking about, a so-and-so bra. I guarantee tomorrow I'm going to get all these ads on my phone and some other stuff saying, hey, we got these bras on sale or whatever. I guarantee it's going to happen because they're listening to you.
Yeah, and that's the paradox. That's the whole complete paradox.
But the thing is, it's people, like you said, if you're not smart enough to understand that this tracks what you do.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
As long as it's on, and so I don't know how to help these people.
But that's the paradox when you the first that video you played about the radio frequencies.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what that one woman said, but I don't believe that. But I know that something's coming from this phone because it does. Even my doctor said, "Don't put it in your bra." You shouldn't wear
and then that's what I was going to say. Did they find her with her phone next to her bra? Just kidding. But the thing is, it's the whole idea. Mm-hmm. The apps on the phone are a convenience to help you. The phone already knows where you are at all times, unless you turn it off. Because I have a Google and an Apple, and then they're both different. I set them up in different ways, and you can turn all that shit off. So you do that, especially if you have your Pixel phone and you put like Graphene OS on it, which is a completely secure operating system.
And you can get Faraday cage.
Yes, and that's my intention. I mean, my intention is to do that. Is that I am going to have essentially 2 homes. I'm going to basically start off with the granny suite in the back, have that out there, and then the old house will be renovated. So do it reverse. Stay in the small house, save enough money for the big house to renovate it, have the chickens and all that stuff on there, and then that secondary house will be will turn into the office, Faraday cage, secret lair, and then the house will be radio free. Because again, here's the other thing that we're talking about apps, talking about phones, talking about this. You already have surveillance devices in your house, your Alexas, your whatever they bullshit you have. I don't have anything like that. I don't use
smart TVs.
Smart TVs are always listening and looking at you. They have
because you can
cameras.
talk to your remote and tell it what to do, then you know it's listening to you.
No, but forget the remote. It listens.
No,
to
I know, but I mean, it's listening to the TV. Is listening to this that you're holding in your hand.
No, that has nothing to do with the remote. That's a secondary thing. It's always listening. Smart televisions are always monitoring you, and it goes beyond that, where you have Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6, the mesh networks. If you have a newer or a late a few about past 5 years cable device in your house that does Wi-Fi. It sends out a signal and it basically bounces back, so it can do a 3D render of your entire house, knowing where you are exactly, and your devices. It's always pinging, bing, 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 bing. So it can do again. They weren't lying in the Dark Knight or whatever it is, when they did the whole the cell tower.
Yeah, I think it was Dark Knight.
Yeah, when they do that's how it looks. They can actually see you.
Yeah,
they can do everything. Yeah, and your phone is constantly calling out to the cell towers, and every cell phone has at least 3 cell towers, so they can triangulate where you are at all times.
But isn't that why it says right there on there for roaming? Because that's what it's doing. It's going looking for stuff.
Well, roaming is a throwback from when you were out of your network, when you're going on someone else's cell network, because you were always going around. But now you have the cell towers every cell tower. There's so many of them now that you don't need roaming, because they all share. Every tower has AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile.
So okay. I want to ask a question, since you seem to know about it. So let's say that I'm leaving the gym and I'm hooked up to the Wi-Fi at the gym so I can listen to my music or whatever while I'm working out. Now I'm walking toward my truck. Okay. I get so far away, the Wi-Fi stops because the signal's not strong enough. So now it's trying to pick up another signal. That's not roaming?
No.
What do you call that?
No, it just goes from a Wi-Fi signal to your cell signal. It's not roaming. It's basically.
Okay. Well, see, roaming, I always assumed, that's why you have to have that, because especially where I live, where it's rural, I hardly have service at all.
Right, roaming. If you if you have it's back in the day. You're thinking about this is I'm saying lower tier, U.S. Cellular, Metro, the lower tier cell phone companies. Those do roam, because you're paying to be in the network.
I have AT&T, but I basically roaming, because half the time it says I have 4 bars, but I still have no service.
Right.
I can't use my phone.
And if you're in an area, you can be roaming. If your cell service is not good, you're going to piggyback on someone else's signal. You can do that, but it's very, very rare now. It's only for rural locations.
Yeah, really rural, the Ozarks.
Yeah. But again,
it's really terrible.
But the roaming aspect, God, Orange Hat, your hat looks flesh colored now.
Oh, it looks orange to me.
Never mind.
But I wanted to remind people, now that I see the background again, I have 1,000 subs on YouTube. So that's why I wanted to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel. I still got a long way to go to get views because I have to have like 1,800, around almost 1,800 more views before I'll have the opportunity to maybe get, monetized or something, which I don't think that'll ever happen. But
Well, you could do Janet's gaming channel. Just kidding.
everybody keeps wanting me to play, like Goat Simulator and stuff like that, but I just haven't had time to sit down and play a game.
Goat Simulator?
Do you
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you simulcast your channel through your for the gaming channel?
Oh, for when I'm playing DD? You talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hook up to Bruce's channel, and
that should help. That should help your watching.
Yeah, so hopefully it will, because it's like 6-hour games, but most people don't watch for 6 hours. You know what I mean?
I won't watch for 11 minutes.
So
I don't understand what's going on. I just look at it going, hey, you do you.
Only gamers, only people that play that stuff would understand.
Yeah, it pops up, and I look at it going, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
but it's fun. I enjoy it, and Bruce likes it.
I go, okay.
But the next thing I want to bring up, I thought was very interesting because I was like, holy crap. I haven't lived in a place where that much snow anyways in a long time. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, how many people die every year in the winter in the United States alone when you see this kind of stuff happening? Yeah, so this is the one thing I wanted to show. This was shocking when I watched it. I couldn't believe it, but it's true. This is a real thing that happened. It says, watching out for the snowplow trucks. Has this ever happened to you? Is what this post by Robert the Builder put on there. And it says, snowplow trucks gone wild. So I want to share this because I couldn't believe the damage that some of this. Now, I have been hit by snow from a snow truck, stuff like that, but nothing like what you're going to see in this video. It's amazing.
The moment a stream of slush from a plow truck crossed the Ohio Turnpike and landed on dozens of cars and semis.
When it hit us, everyone slammed on the brake. You could not see out of any windows. Everything was covered.
In total, investigators say the plow truck dished out enough slush to injure 12 people and damage 40 vehicles. Now, drivers are turning to the Ohio Turnpike, looking for answers as to how they're supposed to repair their cars.
I want them to know it was completely irresponsible.
We're paying to be on that road and to have that happen.
And why this happened in the first place.
Just idiotic. I don't know, it's crazy. Like, what do you think was going through your mind that you think that's okay to do?
Dumbfounded that somebody could be so reckless.
A spokesperson with the Ohio Turnpike confirmed the employee driving that plow truck was placed on administrative leave and was sent for mandatory drug and alcohol testing.
The thing is, that happened.
TikTok brings us great news.
I know, but that happened to real people, and so many people at one time because of this one driver. Every single one of those people whose cars were damaged or they were injured or anything should all be paid for by the company that paid that guy. Oof. Right? Let's say a Walmart truck is driving down the road, right, loaded with stuff, and it's late at night or whatever, and someone's trying to pass him and he doesn't see him, and he pulls over, and that person that's trying to get around him goes across the median to the other side and crashes and dies. That's exactly what happened to my niece. That's how she died. She was trying to pass a big semi. It ran her off the road. She went over the median, bouncing around. And the guy behind her saw what happened, called 911, and followed the semi because the guy never pulled over. And she died. She died in that car that night. And we got the phone call. And then we had to call my sister and her husband and tell them that your daughter is dead in a car accident because of a person that wasn't paying attention. So it does happen. And that truck driver was responsible for her death by the way he handled it on the road. That guy that did that to those people's cars could have killed all those people. All those people could have died crashing into each other because of what his dumbness and how he handled plowing the road wrong. or maybe they should have shut down the road he was working on and threw the snow into the middle or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about snowplows, but to me, every one of those people that were in that thing that we just watched should be their car should be repaired. Everything should be taken care of by whoever paid that guy to drive that plow.
First off, my condolences for your loss in that regard.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I lived in Syracuse, the city, well, just outside. I lived in North Syracuse, the small town outside of the city. But my friends and I, well, we went into the city during the winter to go clubbing. Now, me, I forgot my ID, so I couldn't go in. So I stayed out into the freaking thing. But I'm making a point here. Don't worry, I got a point to this. But I told my friends, you know what? This is my mistake. You guys go in, have fun, you know. And that's just the kind of person I am, folks. But when I was, or when he was driving us back, because snow was coming down and shit. It was heavy snow that day. Yeah. And he's going under a bridge, and I happen to look up, and I'm like, and I tell him, it's like, don't, or whatever you do, stay straight and don't freak out. He's like, what are you talking about? Plow was coming over and cleaning off the bridge, and the snow just landed right on his windshield, and he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, stay straight and don't freak out. Now, luckily, the snow wasn't as heavy as what we saw in that video, but that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays. They are not paying all the attention they need to pay. When you are, all right, let me ask you something, Janet. Where are you looking when you're driving?
Trying to look straight ahead. Look at the road, you know. Yeah.
Ruben, when you drive, where are you looking?
I'm looking 3 places. I'm looking the sides and the front and the back. I'm looking all over. I'm always like, I consider it like a video game. I'm always looking ahead, this and that. I'm always looking both sides, back, this and that.
You actually score higher than Janet. Me, when I was trained to drive, everywhere is where you are looking.
Yeah.
You're not just focused directly on the thing ahead of you. You're focused on the sides. You're focused on your back.
Well, yeah.
You're focused on every fucking thing in
my
front
mirror
of you and around you. Yeah. Because whether or not it's a fucking bird that's flying across the street, you're going to look up at that bird to make sure it doesn't shit on your fucking windshield. When it comes to a plow driving over a bridge and cleaning off the bridge, you're going to make sure you see that shit ahead of time. So I don't know, maybe you can slow down or maybe not. Depends on what's behind you. But
it depends on the traffic is on the road too, though.
Yeah, I know. And luckily that night there wasn't a lot of traffic on the road because, well, nobody, or there was travel advisories. But
no matter
people want to go to the fucking club.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with that case in Ohio, the county or the state, whoever is responsible for those trucks, they do owe the money to the vehicles that did get damaged because they are the ones who were responsible for the damage caused. Yes, the driver themselves are also responsible. However, this is what is known as an unavoidable circumstance. When these people are cleaning off the highways, which needs to be done, what they need to do is, if they can adjust their plow to not cascade the shit all the way over into the other freaking side, they need to be able to have it done in a way that doesn't cascade all the way over.
Yeah, he should have gone. He was going too fast.
Yeah, he was going way too fast, I think.
So yes, that guy definitely needs to be held to account. But these are what are known as unavoidable circumstances. When they are cleaning the highways, that shit is gonna happen, or there's a risk for that shit to happen. Or if that guy was going fast, you're absolutely right. He should be held to account, and that shouldn't be done.
But that's why whenever I go anywhere in a car, I don't care if I know where I'm going. If it's my, I'm not saying grandma, whatever. I'm just saying it. if I go somewhere where I know I'm going to go, I always input it in Waze because I want to know the route. If I put that in the route and then it basically does it different, why did it do it differently? All the accidents, all this, I know ahead of time what's going out there. And then I'm always constantly monitoring what the traffic is. And if it changes, gets heavy, this and that. Because the one time I didn't do that, I was stuck on the highway for like 6 hours. It was a big accident. Didn't know about it. I was stuck. It was terrible. After that, I said, fuck this. I'm never doing this again. I don't care where it is. And everyone says, what are you doing? You know where you're going. Yeah, but I'm monitoring my travel, my trip. I'm looking out there. I'm looking sideways here, and then I'm looking in the, and really, it always happens where it's going to be on your right side. Someone's going to come by or whatever in the back. Because I'm looking at the guy behind me, looking in front of me. Because again, if someone starts, I think if I'm driving on the highway at 70 miles an hour, and somebody is less than 7 car lengths behind me, I get out of the fucking way. I always do. No, I'm serious. I do not. I do not.
No, I'm laughing at this right here.
Oh, okay.
I drive by Sixth Sense and Feel while scrolling through her names. Multitasking. Well, yeah, that's funny until you end up as roadkill.
Yeah, I just tell people to try to just, stay calm in case something does happen. I was driving back to New Orleans in my little Kia Soul, which I love that car. I got the sporty one, the one that had the wider wheel well, spread out a little bit more and a little lower to the ground. And I was driving along, and I'd been on the road for almost 10 hours at this time. And I was passing a semi, and something big, it looked like a big grate, like came off of a refrigerator truck or something big. It was about as big as my car, basically. It came out from underneath the semi, and I went to the left a little bit. And I did put the brake on. I just took my foot off the gas, and I went to the left. To go onto the shoulder, and it went under my front tire, and I heard, my tire explode basically, and my car handled like a champ. And so once that thing went out from behind me, I slowly put my lights on and went over to the right of the side of the road, and I got out. It was like 114 degrees outside, and I had my 2 little dogs. So I cracked the windows, and I was like, I got to change the tire. So I started changing the tire. I get it changed and put a donut on, and that's when I noticed the back tire was also flat. So it flattened both my tires, whatever it was. But nobody stopped to help me or anything. I did all by myself. So then I had to call the people, and they sent me a photograph of the guy, right? And I ended up having to have somebody tell me anyways to get 2 tires put on my car. But I just stayed calm, and my car handled really well, and changed the tire, and everything worked out, because there's always going to be debris on the road, and there's always going to be other vehicles. So you have to be in charge of your vehicle. Try to pay attention to everything that's going on around you best you can by looking at your mirrors, like what Ruben said, and your rearview mirror. But also keep up the maintenance on your vehicle the best you can, and just do the best you can to control your vehicle and know how to stay calm and try not to slam on the brakes or anything like that. I always just take the foot off the gas. That's what my dad always said. Before you do anything, take your foot off the gas and then decide whether you got to put on the brakes, and ease on the brakes and try not to slam if there's anywhere to go. Because if there's nowhere to go, you're going to have to slam on the brakes. So depending on the circumstances, but you got to be fast when you're doing it.
That happens to me.
But I've never gotten a ticket, knock on wood. And, hopefully I'll keep doing it, because I don't drink and drive, and I wear my seatbelt.
I got fun stories.
What's your best ticket story? But Janet doesn't have any tickets.
I've gotten pulled over one time, but I didn't get a ticket. And what was funny, it was my sister and I, we were all dressed to the nines to go out to a club, right? And we're all dressed up, and we cleaned the car, spotted, vacuumed it, cleaned the windows and everything. And we had taken everything out of the glove box, to clean it and all that, and didn't put it back in. So it didn't have any proof of insurance or none of that is in there, right? So Kathy's driving along, and I'm in the other seat, and I guess we were speeding because the lights come on. I go pull over. So we pull over, and the cop's talking to her, and I'm talking at the same time to Kathy about I can't find the stuff because he's asking for the license and registration or whatever. And I'm like, I can't find anything. And I start crying, and we're both talking because we're sisters and we talking at the same time. And he finally goes, "Shut up." That's what he said. He told us to shut up, and we just froze. And he said, "Okay." She showed me her driver's license. I didn't have any proof on me because I didn't even have my driver's license. I didn't put anything back in my purse. All I had was my makeup, lipstick and some stuff, and that was it. I was like, oh my God, this is a horrible night. So he just let us go. He just let us leave. He told her to slow down and, the stuff. But I knew he just said, I'm not putting those in my car. Is what he said. Whatever. But I didn't get a ticket because I wasn't driving, and she didn't get a ticket. He just gave her a warning and told her to slow down and not talk so much while we're driving down the road.
I went to
but that's it.
When I was living in North Syracuse, I went to Wegmans. It's a store up there. They have them down in North Carolina too.
Wegmans?
My friend lives down in North Carolina. Yeah, Wegmans.
Yeah.
And I was getting, well, at the time it was affordable Ben and Jerry's. And also I wasn't aware of their stupid political shit at the time because this was before that. So I was coming back to my aunt because I lived with my aunt at the time. And I took the turn to our apartment complex rather a little too wildly. And the cop flashes lights, and it's like, fuck. Almost home and whatnot. And he's like, I pulled you over. It's like, yeah, I took that turn a little too quick. He's like, yeah, you did. Where are you heading? I'm just heading home. It's right down the road. And he's like, what's your hurry? Well, sir, it's my girlfriend. It's that time of the month. And and he's noticed the ice cream too. And he's like, all right, just next time, slow it down. I'm letting you off with a warning. Don't do it again. I'm like, absolutely, sir. You have a wonderful day. And so I get home, and Aunt Beck's like, well, what took you so long? God rest my Aunt Beck. Love that woman. But she's like, well, what took you so long? I had to pretend that I had a girlfriend on her period and basically had to bullshit my way out of a ticket.
Oh,
she's like, what did you do? I'm like, I bullshitted my way out of a ticket.
It worked though, didn't it?
Yeah. It worked. And it's like, you just got to keep it as if you were actually telling the truth.
My sister did that.
It worked.
There's a place in Oklahoma on 40. Okay, and you're driving through Oklahoma towards Oklahoma City. There's a town called Stringtown. Anyone that lives there will know what I'm talking about. So when you're driving there, all of a sudden it goes like, it drops like 30 miles. The speed limit drops by 30 miles. I mean, it goes like from 75 or whatever down to, like 45 or something, like really quick. I mean, one sign. That's how fast it changes. So my sister was driving through there, one of my sisters, and she's driving along, and she's got a nice rack or whatever. And she said she sees the lights behind her. She's like, shit, damn, I should have slowed down, but she didn't. So she says that she was telling me about it. And I said, well, what'd you do? She said, well, I pulled over, and then I went zip, unzipped her shirt, thinking that she was going to use her cleavage. And she said she looked up, and it was a woman cop. She went, oh. So she got a ticket.
That's Cannonball Run, right?
Really?
So, well, that's what happens. I guess you use whatever you have at the moment, right?
Well, yeah, the only time that'll work is if she's either les or bi. But there was there was this other time.
All women are bi. You know that? Well, bipolar or bisexual?
Oh, yeah. Now I believe you. That's funny.
But, in the North Syracuse and Liverpool area, there was this. This was before my time, and a mayor whose wife loved to get away with a lot of shit, and she would speed, or she would often speed, and a New York or sheriff pulled her over, and she's like, oh, you know who my husband is? I'm going to have you fired and whatnot. And he's like, well, okay, you're free to contest this. Now, the cop that was just doing his job. And, well, he did get fired because he was not letting her go just because she was the mayor's wife. Well, a few years down the road, he was a state trooper, and, well, the mayor was a different mayor. And he pulls over a speeding car. Turns out it's the same woman. And she's like, do you know who my husband is? Yeah, he's not the mayor. Hi again. And by the way, she was doing 85 on Route 81.
Well,
So
I try never
Route
to
81
speed.
is only 65. She was doing 20 miles over. That was a time when this was before my time, so this was during the 70s to 80s. And it's like, yeah, you're still getting in trouble. Back in the 90s, I actually remember when it was $10 a mile over the speed limit. New York did that one time, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm glad I'm not driving yet.
Yeah, I was going to say 90s. My God. Wait a minute. Hold on here.
Well, the next thing I wanted to talk about was this, because I thought it was real important, because a lot of us have been following this whole case, right? I know you guys have, but I just thought this was great so far, because they're breaking for the weekend. So I think that we got a good jury there. I was really worried, because you just worry.
Yeah, but
the jury is deadlocked.
On what?
Or they are
I don't
deadlocked
know.
on. They dropped the manslaughter charge, the second-degree manslaughter, because there's no fucking way in hell they were going to prove it. I've been watching this case. I've been paying attention. They have been in deliberation for 4 days due to the fact they also came back and said, we would like to take a look at the videos again. And the judge is like, okay, we're dismissing the manslaughter. However, there is still on the charge that he has of negligent manslaughter or negligent homicide. So that is the one thing that they need to determine when they go back into session and back into deliberation. The thing is, to give everybody full context on this, Daniel Penny saved people's lives on a train when this whatever his guy's name is came onto the train acting a fool, saying I want fucking food, I want money, give it to me now. I ain't afraid to go to jail. I'm going to kill people. He's threatening the lives of everybody on that train. Daniel Penny tried to restrain this man, and he ended up putting him in a chokehold. This man died during the time, and Daniel Penny then took restorative measures to try to revive him. As did other people who witnessed this whole situation, said he was a hero. And well, unfortunately, during this time, it was the Obama administration. Any white guy killing a black guy is an absolute hate crime, racist, and all that shit. And unfortunately, it got blown way out of fucking proportion. The cackling horrors on The View kept on saying this man committed a hate crime. He murdered him because he was black.
I know, and that's really sad. It's really sad that so many people comment on stuff when they don't even know all the facts. Okay, and that's why I'm so glad that we're able to share as much of the facts as we possibly can. But what's scary to me about this whole thing, I never thought, everything that I listened to and researched and read about, I thought, this guy was on a train with a bunch of other people. A psychopath gets on there, starts threatening to hurt people and stuff, and he defends himself and the others from this person, and the person happens to die because of it. Because we don't know for sure about all of it. Remember, it was the whole the guy that did the autopsy flip-flopping around and saying so many different things and everything. I don't know. The whole thing seemed like they were going to blame him for a racist thing, and he wasn't racist. At least that's how it came across to me. So I was sad because if this guy gets convicted of this, how many other people are going to stand up to help a whole train full of people? See what I'm saying? How many more people are going to, okay, remember there was a woman years and years ago that was in her house, and some guy went to her door and she answered it, and he starts stabbing her like 30 something times. He's stabbing her, and people are standing in the street watching this guy stab this woman, and she's screaming for help, and nobody's doing anything because nobody wanted to get in the middle of it and get hurt or get sued. The guy on a telephone pole working on it climbs down the telephone pole, rushes and jumps the guy. There was a huge thing on the news about it. And back then, it was years ago, people were saying, well, we don't want to get involved. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get sued. Okay. And then you had the other guy during the Potomac, with that plane crashed into the Potomac, and people were standing around his live camera, and there's people freezing to death, and they're barely being able to stay above the water. You guys remember that too?
Yep.
Okay, it was on the news. It was real big. I don't remember. It was years ago. But some guy was standing there on the side, and there was all the divers with suits on. They're getting their boots on, and all this. Boy, people are drowning. Okay, and they're throwing out these brown things to grab a hold of, and this woman, her eyes are frozen open because it's so cold, and there's icebergs floating around because of the plane crashing into the ice, and she can't even grab a hold of the loop because her hands are frozen. She can barely move. I mean, she's freezing to death, and this guy just jumps in his regular clothes and swims out, grabs the woman and drags her to shore, and they get on, and then everyone's griping at this guy that he risked his life. He could have died. He could have drowned her, all this different stuff, instead of saying, you saved that woman. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible that we can't
that people
save
are not
people
celebrating heroism.
like that guy that followed that trucker that ran my niece off the road. He didn't know who was in the car. He had no idea whether they crashed or anything. You just saw that trucker run her off the road. I saw a car get run off the road and going through the median, bouncing all around because she was going 75 miles an hour or whatever when it happened. And he followed the truck. He followed the truck and called 911 because he wasn't going to let the truck get out of the way because it happened so fast. But the thing is, he cared enough about what he saw that he wanted the facts to be told to the police. Okay. That person did that. Now, what if this guy gets reprimanded? Well, you had no right to tell people his whatever, any information. You should have stayed back and helped the woman, blah, 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 or whatever. Okay. I would never blame that guy, because if he hadn't called 911, no one would have known. See, because he did what he did, we found out who did it. Okay. So I just think it's terrible that this guy is going through all the money that is being spent on this whole thing for somebody who saved other people from someone who was endangering them. That's like what's going to happen is someone's going to go into a shopping mall with a gun and start shooting people, and everyone's just going to lay on the ground and no one's going to try to stop him because nobody wants to get in the middle of it. Nobody wants to be accused of hurting him or getting more people killed or whatever because they're going to lose their house and stuff. That's what we're doing. We're dumbing down and scaring everyone so much that no one will do anything. Everybody's just going to sit in the corner and suck their thumb. That's what I'm worried about. That's why we got to fight back. We got to do what our natural instincts tell us to, and that's to help people. And that Marine did that. He did what he felt he had to do in the situation. And I don't even want to think about what it could have been if he just said, oh, well, I'm not getting involved, and then backed off. He could have defended himself if the guy tried to punch him or whatever. But what's going to happen when that guy's attacking someone else, like what happened to that poor girl under the bridge? She died. Right. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to step in. Nobody wants to get involved. Well, guess what? I'm that person. I've done it a few times. One day something bad might happen to me because of it. But
that's why
I'm not the person that's not going to do something if I see something happen.
That's why this case is so important. It's because it will set a legal precedent that people need to or are not allowed to help other people. And essentially that alone
Society's going to
breaks the
collapse
law. Well, no,
if
that
that ever
alone breaks the
happens.
law. That is illegal. If you see something, you have to say you are legally bound to report a crime. Otherwise, you catch an aiding and abetting charge. If my law is rusty, folks, I do apologize. But last time I checked, you are still, or you can, or you still are bound to report something if you see a crime. What Daniel Penny did was tried to de-escalate a situation, and this person attacked him, and he defended himself. He didn't seek lethal action. It wasn't his intent to kill. What he did, unfortunately, the man lost his life. Nobody was saying, or nobody is saying that this man should have been killed. Nobody's saying that. But also, here's another thing. This guy was basically denounced by his family, left to basically fend for himself when he was in need of help, and yet now the family's suing Penny for his actions. And I'm sorry, I would actually or if I was in court, if I was Daniel Penny, I would have my lawyers ask these people, where the fuck were you when this man needed help? I didn't want to do any of this shit to him, but this could have easily been avoided if any of you guys would have taken him in. Why didn't you? You seem so hard up for a fucking payday right now that you're suing me for my actions for killing your family member. It was never my intent to kill him. But what you guys are doing is now showing that you are only interested in your family member's life now that it was taken, and you only want a payday. You sick fucks.
Yeah. And it's sad that people want to jump in when someone dies and then say, oh, I cared about him or whatever. When they were living in the street, nobody gave a shit because they were a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever it was. Nobody tried to do anything about having him committed or anything. I mean, they basically, like if you look around, they pretty much opened the doors of all the insane asylums, basically, and open the doors and let people out because it's cruel and they're being punished for something because they're sick. Well, instead of trying to get them help and keeping them from hurting themselves, they just put them out in the street.
Shit, we lost.
Ruben got dropped, but
Ruben.
It's terrible. I mean, it's sad that this is going on, but I'm thankful. It looks to me like the process worked and they got a good jury. And the jury's really doing their job. Just like I said, I love the whole process of me getting to go to jury, be in a jury pool for almost 4 months and go almost every week to sit and see whether or not I was going to get picked for a jury and watching the process of it. The age range, I mean, so many different people from all over the place, all ages, all races. Men, women, it was I just thought it was great. I thought they did a great job. And I was so proud to look around and listen to the people asking questions, answering questions. And I felt like, if something did happen in where I live right now, I feel like I would definitely get a fair trial simply because I think the people that would be picked for my jury would be people like me that would want to do the best they could and make sure that it's as fair as possible. And we got to keep society like that. We have got to get to where people feel comfortable to help others by being honest and trying to be a jury of their peers. That's where it should be. And I hope that we don't ever lose that, because that's one of the reasons why I believe our country has been so successful over all these years compared to other countries that are 10 times older than us that are so messed up. You know what I mean? So we have a lot of problems. We still need to work on it, but we have enough people in our country. The last election just proved it to me that care, and that when the dirt's being slung, and it's our last chance. They stood up to the plate. People got up and went out in numbers and did their job. And so we still haven't lost, we still haven't lost our country. We still have people that are willing to fight for it. And it's nice to see a jury that's really doing this and trying to do the best they can to go by the letter of the law and follow the laws and make a decision that way. So hopefully something good will come out of this. At least we'll find out over the week after the weekend. But all right. Well, the next thing I wanted to bring up, I hope he's okay. Hope he's just the internet. But this next one, let me make sure I click on the right one. I think this is it. Oh, no, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. This one. Okay, so let me click on it. Make sure I'm clicking on the right one. Yeah, this one. This is the next one I thought was an interesting article. It says, if Kash Patel is confirmed as FBI director. Oh, let me add him real quick before I finish reading this.
I have no idea what.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back.
I have no idea what happened.
Me neither. You just disappeared. But the thing is, I just brought this up and I was reading it. If Kash Patel is confirmed as FBI director, it could change everything. Mm-hmm. He told me after reading the entire 9/11 report oversight that needs to come out, and there will be some people that are pissed off. He's also seen the entire JFK file. The things that we can't release have nothing to do with the questions you guys are asking. I'm so excited about finding out some of this information. So I'm gonna play this. I think it's really interesting.
I never believed that the CIA killed Kennedy.
No, you're talking to a guy that's read the entire JFK file.
You've seen all the secret stuff?
I've seen all of that, and I've seen the 7 pages of the 9/11 report. I've seen it all.
You don't say that to people that you can't tell what you saw. Should the Kennedy stuff be released?
Yes.
Is there anything there that is like, is anybody alive?
The problem is the things that we can't release have nothing to do with the questions you guys are asking. That's about as far as I can go on it. But like the answers you guys want, pretty much have them. There's very minimal stuff that can't be seen for things that you wouldn't even think are related to that.
Why can't we release them?
And you're thinking temporally, like, did it stop back then? Right? The way intelligence works is you're always developing it. Where did I get that? Where did that go? Oh, hey, I found that guy 5 years ago. Let's go talk to him. Where does that get us? It's a little bit bigger of a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, it's the same. Look, so the 7 pages of the 9/11 report, yes, overnight that needs to come out. I'm telling you, that's got to go. And there will be some people that are pissed off.
Yeah, I really want this person put in the position that Trump wants to put him in.
Don't want him put in.
Well, the thing. Can you hear me?
Well, but the thing is, what I wanted to say about when I watched this little snippet of the interview with the Glenn Beck, all I could think of was Operation Gladio. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Okay, I had Colonel Watkins Townsend on my channel on Team Shit Show, and she has been investigating a bunch of things as behind the scenes in the government and how our government uses soldiers to guard poppy fields in another country because the money that they're being paid for, being paid by cartels and different groups like that to help them undermine and take over other countries and get certain things to happen, get one person in, another person out, stuff like that. And that's what Operation Gladio is all about. And man, she really knows what she's talking about. And she told me she'd love to come on the show again and talk about some other stuff, other things that she knows about that her and her researchers are exposing. But she says everything that we talk about and bring out is out. It's public information that we just ask for, and we put two and two together like a puzzle, just like what Kash Patel was talking about. Things that you don't even realize have anything to do with something do. and it might be 5 years later, but it's connected to what happened earlier. And you put it all together and you see it's a weaving in and out spider web made by the governments to have certain things happen in sequence,
Yeah, what's happening
so
in the
that certain things can.
what's happening in the Ukraine and Russia is the same thing happened in Vietnam. And it's all
You're
manufactured by the
100%
U.S. government.
right.
By the
You
US
really
government.
need to. You really need to start paying attention to some of her stuff, because she has stuff on Rumble and she does a few other things. It's called Operation Gladio.
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay, well, the thing is, she is so smart, and I just told her, after listening to her, I said, "Oh my God, I hope you've got protection." And she goes, "I'm well taken care of." So I don't know what that meant, but I'm telling you, she's really smart, and it's a really good series that she's doing in spaces, trying to get people that know nothing about it to listen. And what was so sweet is because I told her, I go, "It's so much information. I hope I can, handle it and absorb it." She said, "Well, I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version." So she's a really great woman, and she served our country. And I was so proud to have her on my show. But I'll try to find the link for that, and I'll share it on my timeline. And when this goes on my channel, I'll try to post it in the comments underneath the link to my show with her, so you can find out more, because I shared all her stuff in the chat and everything. But it was a great show. I was so happy to have had her on there as a guest, and I was really proud to have her on there. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. And it's all out there. It's all public information. It's just that people don't want to sit and weed through all the weeds to get the tidbits of information to make you go, "What the blank is going on?" That's why I really want to see this Kash Patel get this position, because I really think it's going to make a huge difference. Him, along with the video I showed at the very beginning with Doge or whatever, even though they're not going to have a position, they're basically going to be consultants to help Donald Trump make better decisions. And I think, I am so fired up about some of the things that I feel can happen to this government by shrinking it. And when Trump made that one comment, and JD Vance and a couple others were talking about it, when they said that they were going to take these, like the Department of Agriculture, these different departments that are in Washington, D.C., and take them out of Washington, D.C., and put them in another state. I love that idea. Shrink Washington, D.C. Remember what he said? Drain the swamp. Well, to me and to most people, when they think about the swamp, they think of Washington, D.C. So get them out of there, move them somewhere else. And they said if they don't want to move, then send them somewhere that we know they don't want to go. Send them to the middle of nowhere and make them go there. And when Kash Patel was talking about wanting to empty the Hoover building and then turn it into a museum and put all those people and send them out amongst the states and make them be cops again, like they're supposed to, hunt down criminals, serial killers and stuff like that, and get them out of the Hoover.
Look in the mirror, FBI, you're the criminal.
So I just think it was great. I just really think that it can help our country so much by shrinking our government, just by having these people in these positions, and by listening to these people and watching their facial expressions, watching their body language, and all these different interviews. I believe them. I believe what Kash is saying. Either he's an excellent liar and he's really, really good at it, and he's duping everyone, or I really believe that he means what he says. And the only way to find out is to see him in that position and see what happens. But I really am excited about it. So we will see. But I'm hoping that we can get some of these people to do some of these positions that Trump has been putting out. Now, I don't trust every single one of these people. I really don't. But I trust Trump. Okay, so for whatever reason, he's putting some of these people or suggesting it. Now, I had one friend that did tell me this. He told me that maybe Trump isn't putting them in there because he really thinks they're going to do a good job. Maybe he's doing it to expose something.
That's true.
So I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I'm going to stand back and hopefully let Trump put things together with his team and see what happens and shake the, what do you call it, the beehive or whatever,
Right.
and see what happens. And I'm willing to wait 2 years. What's 2 more years after the last 8 that we've been through? Right, basically, gonna make that much difference. At least I trust the people in charge more than I trust the people in charge right now.
But the thing is that here's what's happening now. Basically, from the auspices of the Tea Party back in the early 2000s, and this is the output of it. The idea of having a populist president is very, very, it has never happened before. Everybody has come from 3 aspects. Either they were in government, they were a governor, or they were, a military person. Those 3 aspects, lawyer, when they were congressmen or whatever, but most of the time it's either senator or governors who they do. And you've had that distinction where the majority of the Republican presidents have been governors, and then the majority of the Democrats have been senators, and this is the first time you have someone who has no government experience. And 2016, Trump came in, and did what he did. He did as best as he could. And I think that, well, it's been said before that the 4 years of him being out was like, Empire Strikes Back. You had a New Hope. Now we have Return of the Jedi. We have the Return of the King. It's the end. It's the redemption aspect of it. And it's basically shown people when you have somebody who's been, prosecuted, persecuted, shot at, demonized, is still fighting. So it inspires those that, because again, we've all been through a lot in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
There are certain things, again, and I think about it, again, we met each other, what was it, 2011? I'm sorry, 2021, sorry, 2020, 2021, around there.
Yeah.
And because I had been watching, the first person I saw Gary a little bit, but it was Jeremy, and it was all about Return of the Jedi, which is how bad it was. So then I told him that in 2021, and I started watching FMT from the hospital, and that's what I told them at the time, because again, I said I was in the hospital, and I said I got to go and see these guys. So I did, because again, at that time, because again, remember, 2020 happens, and it's like, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, so you don't do any of that. And I stopped going anywhere. I still to this day, there are things that I used to do every day that I don't do anymore. And I want to enjoy life again, but when I go out and I see people who are wearing masks still, or who did, or believe the crap that's out there, I instantly just don't talk to them. I don't talk to people anymore. If they are too far gone, I don't talk to them. So I have no one to talk to. The only people I talk to you guys every week. That's about it. And there's nobody else. I don't talk when this camera goes off. I only talk to one person, and that's only Monday through Thursday. And before that, like all year long for the last, I think the last time I talked to somebody on a personal level was 2019, when my wife was still alive, until she passed away in the beginning of the year. But that was it. Nobody. So I have just, been very, very, cold when it comes to people doing anything. And then to have Trump would do what he did and still fight, it inspires you to keep on fighting. So that's what I'm going to do, keep on fighting. I just got to figure out where to go next. That's the thing. So I'm just building that up. But this is the time. So this, again, 2025 comes. Hopefully there are no bullshit happens in the next 5 weeks.
Yep.
And if it does, again, it's funny. Now, if I see something on television, and like just like this, that whole TikTok thing, that's the U.S. government doing it. It's all the U.S. government. I see the hurricane, the people they had Helene yesterday. I thought you were going to show that, but unfortunately, 3 people were in a tent overnight and died. They got froze to death. These are people who lost their home. They're in a tent. in North Carolina, and they die of freezing frost to death. And then a day before that, Biden gives $1 billion to Africa. That's insane.
I know, because this administration, I believe, hates our country. Just absolutely hates Americans and hates the way that our country runs. That's how I look at them.
Yeah, that's the one thing. But the one thing here, it's all about money laundering, and money is not real. That's what that's why it's kind of funny.
That's why he pardoned his son.
Yeah, but that's
from way back when, so that that can.
But that's not gonna do anything. He's gonna hit justice is coming for him anyway.
Segue into that.
All of them. Go ahead.
If we're going into the Hunter thing right now, it is kind of odd that it's that specific. Everybody's saying that he's a liar and whatnot. A person can change their mind. I will play devil's advocate. A person can change their mind. But the bullshit reason he gave is actual clear bullshit. It's like, well, he's saying that, the Justice Department is very politicized. It's your Justice
It is, but against Trump.
It is your Justice Department. How is it politicized against you and your family? Well, he's been through enough. No. You just proved that your son can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can smoke crack off a 14-year-old's ass and get away with it. He can do extremely corrupt business dealings, which you had a part in, and get away with it. Now, he can't be freaking investigated. So, yes, when it does come to all of this and the pardoning of Hunter Biden, I'm going to say this with full fucking intent, folks. Every single January 6er, and I am talking about every single one of them, including the bad faith ones, should be pardoned by Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to fucking set this goddamn precedent, if you want to abuse your office for family so that they can get away with committing actual crimes. Oh, these sort of crimes are never really prosecuted. The fuck they ain't. Tax evasion. Wesley Snipes got fucking arrested and imprisoned for tax evasion.
Martha Stewart
She
got put in prison.
And insider trading and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't tell me that people that these are victimless crimes and shit. No. Unregistered firearms in New York State, yeah, that is a big fucking crime up here. Unfortunately, we have an anti-two-way state. But the thing is, folks, if Biden's abuse opens up a very dangerous precedent. Now, yes, I do believe that Trump should pardon the people who simply went on a fucking tour. But after Joe Biden just pardoned his son, I think that now every single January 6er should be pardoned. And you know what? I ain't going to give a flying fuck about all the people who complain about it. Joy reading them. She's all for it. It's like, no, I don't want to hear a fucking word out of your goddamn trash mouth. Not unless you're going to call out Joe Biden for pardoning his son for a specific 11-year stretch.
They won't. And also, after
I will give them credit. Some have. And even Democrats are calling this out.
Yeah, but I was talking about the View people, those kind of people, they're not going to. But what's funny is I did see a couple of things today about what's her name? The one who has a show once a week and she hates Trump, the brunette. I can't remember her name is. She has a huge show. She's on CNN or something. Rachel Maddow. Maddow. Okay, she's lost almost half of her viewers. Her numbers have dropped so much, and so has The View and a bunch of these other shows have lost almost half their viewers.
Well, that's the thing.
So if we just give them a little bit more time, a lot of people are going to tune it off. Remember a few years back when the radio stations were trying to say that if you have a conservative person like Rush Limbaugh on, you have to have a liberal person on just as much, right?
Yeah, just to
And
count.
remember what happened? They couldn't get ads sold on the liberal channels. So the liberal channels were losing money because they couldn't fill in the ads. So people don't want to buy ads to put on liberal shows because they just don't want to sell products to those people. And the products that would sell, they can't get enough people to want to put ads on their show. So, I just think it's ridiculous to force a company to have another point of view on there when nobody wants to listen to it. So it's like, I don't know. I watched The View, I think once or twice, and I was like, this show sucks, So I just didn't watch it, not because it didn't have good commercials or anything like that. It's because the show just was shit. So I don't know. I just think this whole thing is really messed up. And all I see is a government that hates its people, hates taxpayers, and wants everyone to live in 15-minute cities and be under the thumb of the government 24 hours a day. That's what I see. That's what this government wants. And that's not what I want. And I really believe the red landslide that we saw was because most people don't want to live that life either. They don't want to live under the thumb of the government. And enough people stood up and said, heck no, that Trump won. And won a lot more places than we thought he would. And probably would have won a lot more if there'd been less people trying to under the table win, if you know what I'm saying. So, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to complain about it because we won. And if the states will start fighting back to have free and fair elections and to stop bending to every whim of a person that was given a job simply because they were a male or a female or whatever, instead of being qualified for a position, we start making changes like that in our states, we will win our states back. And that's the kind of stuff we need to do. And once we do that, we will have a stronger, better America. And I really do believe that. And I live my life that way. I really do. I know I sound like a broken record, but I can't help it. That's just how I feel. So do you want to say anything else about the pardon?
Nope. Said my piece.
Do you want to say anything about it, Ruben?
Not necessarily, but it's bullshit, because again, the crimes he did are unpardonable in my position. Again, he's pardoning him for, well, he says everything between this and this, but again, what the media is going to say is tax, his son, drug problem, blah blah blah. We know what he did. You can't say it here, but we know what he did, and that he will pay for. Period.
Well, the next thing I want to bring up, I saw this, and since Christmas is coming, I thought it was so funny because it's a skit.
Is it right, Carrie?
It's a skit on a show, and I thought it was hilarious when I first saw it, and I just said, "Oh, I got to play that," because I'm always saying about our childhood compared to some of the kids that we see today that really didn't have it, hard. Like me, my mom kicked us out and didn't want us in the house all day, so we were drinking out of the hose, and jumping out of trees, and just doing, playing on our bicycles and shooting BB guns and, doing all kinds of stuff that kids today aren't really allowed to do. I mean, kids can't even play regular football. They have to play tag football and stuff like that because nobody wants anybody to get hurt. Nobody wants to say no to a kid. So that made me want to play this. I want to play this because it's funny, and YouTube knows that I'm going to say it's not a real, it's based on a skit, and they're making fun of how dumb some of us are coddling our children and making wusses out of them instead of letting them be real kids or whatever type thing. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I got to play it. So it's really funny, and it's not real, but it's funny as shit. So let me bring it up here if I can pick the right one. Oh, so bad at this stuff. I don't think that's it. So give me 1 second. I think it, no, it's not that. Hold on. Let me click up here and find out which one it is. Oh, there it is. LD. LD. I got to find the LD and click on it. And then I'll know I have the right one. Here it is. Okay. This is so funny. I hope you guys like it. But I just love this. It's so good. And it's, I'm going to watch again. So here we go.
Here. This is a BB gun, okay? They don't want to give these to kids anymore, okay? Because too many kids get shot in the eye on Christmas morning, all right? Well, watch this. Give me a kid. Okay. Stay right there, right there. Nice job, kid. See, the kids who lose an eye when you shoot BBs at them, they're stupid, okay? Too dumb to duck. They don't deserve to have eyeballs, all right? Give me another kid. Now, this is an electric football game. They don't really make them anymore, okay? You turn it on, all these guys would vibrate and run around the field. Now, my cousin Eddie swallowed a running back, I think it was Larry Zonka, and choked to death one Christmas morning. Last time we saw Eddie or the game. Hey, eat this.
No way.
Good girl. See? It's called thinning the herd, folks. This kid's a keeper. All right, give me another kid, all right? This next toy is basically an oven, okay? This baby would heat up to about 250 degrees Kelvin. You could bake pottery in this thing, all right? Come here. Stick your hand inside there. You idiot. Folks, okay? These aren't just toys. They are tools of education, okay? You can bet that kid's not going to put his hand in an oven again, okay? And if he does, get rid of him, all right? I don't have anything against dumbass kids, just the dumbass adults they grow up to be, all right? Christ, these toys should be in every kindergarten class across the country, all right? The Stanford Binet test, all right? Plug in the creepy crawler oven.
Oh my God, that was so funny. I just thought it was so good.
I remember creepy crawlers. I had
it. I had those. I made my own little things, and you could eat them. I had the edible ones. You know, you put it in there, you make them, and you can bite their legs off. Did any of you guys have that?
I had
no.
I had the ones that were not edible.
I had the incredible edibles. That's what it was called.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And it was like a creepy crawler, and you could make spiders and goldfish and stuff, and you made them whatever colors, and they were like gummies, whatever, you know, gummy candies, and you could eat them. Put them on a plate, and you could pick up a spider and eat it or whatever. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and it tasted like shit. I mean, they really weren't that good, but it was fun, you know, to do it. Oh, here's one. See, and I had a BB gun, and I never shot myself with it because I had parents that had real guns, and my dad would show us how to clean guns. He told us how to open a gun, how to close it, and he showed us they were real and they weren't toys. You know what I mean?
Well, I had pellet guns and BB guns. We shot each other all the time. Because
we had BB guns. We had BB guns in our front yard. We would shoot the little army men. You know, those little ones that are about this big.
No, we shoot each other.
And
I did it, but I did it with a slingshot.
But we had a few good days with the BB guns and whatnot until these punks came around, and my second oldest brother, the middle child, decided to take a shot at one of the kids because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. And suddenly the police are coming over, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna have to keep these away from your kids, and since they can't be trusted. You're lucky I'm not hauling in your middle kid for doing something stupid. And it's like, well, great, thanks, you jackass. But yeah, we learned gun safety, obviously, and then I learned gun safety, or took the hunter safety course. That should all literally be required learning for people. Hunter safety courses, all of that should be required learning so that people understand the safety of guns, the responsibility of guns, how they work.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to talk about after I saw that whole thing, and he said this should be in every single kindergarten, okay, it really made me think about it. Are we teaching our kids anymore to be prepared to be an adult and go out on their own?
No.
At school. See, I took home ec, Okay, so I had to learn how to sew and use a sewing machine and stuff. And I was a tomboy. So to me, that whole thing was torture. I hated it. Actually hated that class. While other girls were going, I made a shirt and I made a shirt and it was crooked like that on stuff. But I passed the class and stuff, but I didn't like it. Now I do it now. I sew, I make tons of costumes and stuff. And I'm so thankful that I did learn that. But kids are not prepared now. Kids can't even hardly read and write. They can't write cursive. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. There's so many things that kids are not learning. My parents didn't let any of us girls be able to get our driver's license and drive until we knew how to change a tire on our vehicle. Because if you're out in a rural somewhere and you get a flat and you can't change your tire, you're standing on the side of the road waiting for someone to come and help you change a tire. You're just standing there waiting to be a target, to be robbed, assaulted, or something else. Okay, so that's what my dad said. No, you're not going to get a driver's license unless you know how to change a tire and put gas in your car, stuff like that. So life skills. They should have a class in school for every student in high school. It's called life skills. Teach you how to live away from your parents' house. Can you boil water and cook a meal? All these different things, and safety about leaving the stove off or whatever, all those things. Kids should know how to do that stuff by the time they graduate from high school.
There's a fun thing that I did with my couple of step nephews that I have. My brother is teaching his firstborn, his son, how to properly handle weapons, and my nephew is all of 6 years old, 6 years old now, but with my other two, they're 11, 12, or they're almost teenagers now. But a few years ago, 3 years ago, they had the laser tag guns, and I told them, it's like, I'm gonna do a test with you. Grab this. And I handed him the laser tag gun. He put his hand on the trigger immediately. I'm like, okay, you failed. Here, grab this. He also grabbed the trigger. It's like, you failed. And later on, a couple of years later, down the line, I grabbed the same thing and I did it with my nephew. And he didn't. He grabbed it like this with his finger straight. And I'm like, you've been taught well. He knew the safety due to his father's teachings. And I explained to my other nephews, it's like, when you are handling a weapon, you never put your hand or your finger on the trigger, not until you're ready to pull it. That's why I said you guys failed. So yeah, you need a little bit of education in that area.
Well, the next thing I wanted to share, earlier I was talking about the illegals and some of the things that they're getting, but then we got people that are dying in tents, freezing to death, right? Okay, so this is the thing I wanted to talk about. I think it's this one. Yeah. This was shocking. When this came across on there, I was like, I can't. There's so much stuff. I know I share so much stuff in our chat, in our Friday night shit show chat, that sometimes you go, holy crap, where did she find all this shit? But I can't help it. I see something that I think is interesting that someone else might want to see. I want to share it because I think it's important that people see some of this stuff, because you may never see this or hear it from anyone, because you're not going to get it on the news. You're not going to find some of this, like this detail that I'm about to show you, you're not going to see on CNN or any of these other channels. So this was interesting. It says FEMA is paying for illegals to live rent-free in Maine in brand new apartments that cost between $1,800 to $2,200 a month. When there are victims of Helene living in tents in freezing temperatures, this is unforgivable. So when I saw that headline, you knew I was going to watch it. So I'm going to show you guys this and just listen to this. It is, and I'm going to share this one in the chat because this is something that you guys need to be sharing. So here you go.
How much is rent here? Free. 2 years, 2 years.
After 2 years, we have to pay the rent.
All right, y'all, this is Savannah Hernandez in Brunswick, Maine, reporting to you from the apartments where migrants are getting their rent paid for up to 2 years. Now, I wanted to give you guys a first inside look at these units. The migrants shared with us that they come furnished. So they have a flat screen TV in there, couches, tables and chairs, a bed. We also asked them as well, hey, are you paying utilities here? They shared with us that nope, they do not have a water bill. They do not have an electricity bill.
And what about the light and the water?
Everything is good. We don't pay anything.
Now, I wanted to focus in on this area of Maine because there is a housing crisis going on currently for residents, and these buildings were initially created for Maine residents, but then it was decided that homeless migrants would be living here. Now, as an American, you can rent out one of these units, but a 1-bedroom is going to run you about $1,800, and a 2-bedroom is going to run you about $2,300. By the way, the average housing price for a house over here in Brunswick is about $480,000. So there was obviously a lot of outrage when it was first discovered that migrants were going to be housed here for free on taxpayer dollar. Now, I wanted to focus in on Brunswick as well because this is the same county that has received FEMA funding from that same program that spent almost $1 billion through the fiscal year of 2023 and 2024 on sheltering illegal immigrants throughout the United States of America. By the way, FEMA coming out and saying that they have run out of that funding.
We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This is why I wanted to come up this way. This is why I wanted to come to Brunswick, because I wanted to show you guys a comparison of how the federal government is treating American citizens versus illegal immigrants and migrants in this country. This is how migrants up in Maine, up in Brunswick are living. We also went to Bangor, we went to Lewiston, and there are African migrants who share with us they really like it over here, that they've been treated very well. We spoke to Catholic Charities who told us that they are expecting more migrants. They're actually bringing more migrants up this way.
Yeah, so we're expecting up to 150 refugees starting yesterday until September 30th, which is the fiscal year. And then we also have walk-in clients, which will increase those numbers. Generally for refugees that we know are coming, we help them get set up with an apartment, but we're always looking for like other landlords to work with as well for apartments.
So I wanted to give you guys an idea of what was going on in Maine, the uppermost corners of the United States of America, where you wouldn't expect there to be migrants. This is a direct result of the open border, the illegal immigration crisis that has been allowed to prosper over the past 3-4 years, and it's stretching to even areas of America that you wouldn't expect.
The thing that's funny to me about this, okay, I shared it in the link in the chat, is okay, a person walks over the border. Where are they? Arizona, California, Texas. Okay, southern states that they're walking over the border. So how does a person, okay, just think about this, walk over the border and then all of a sudden they're in Maine in a nice apartment, completely furnished, food and everything. Yeah.
They've been trafficked in by the Biden administration.
Somebody
they have
flew
the app.
them there.
No. Well, they had the app.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
they were trafficked
somebody took our money that we pay taxes to have the government take care of people like in Helene, right? Instead of taking that money and saying we're going to pay for these people from earthquakes and tornadoes and floods and things like that and keep it here for them, we're going to take all this money and we're going to buy plane tickets for these people, give them clothes, a cell phone, a credit card and stuff, and we're going to house them in these nice apartments when we have homeless veterans that have taken bullets for our country living in the street. Now we have families living in tents in winter with snow on the ground, freezing to death, when these people are living in apartments. And did you see the cars? There's cars, nice cars in the parking lot that they're driving, and cell phone. Did you see the nice cell phone laying on the counter in the kitchen of the completely furnished apartment for these people? And they haven't spent $1 or had vaccinations or anything and gone through the schools or any of that. They haven't paid a single dime in taxes. But yet they're reaping all the reward that all of us have put in to the coffers. See, and I don't see where's all the outrage from the people that are paying the bill. Where are they?
Yeah, but
you know where they are? They voted. That's why it was a red landslide.
And not really. Anyway,
I
but
think
here's
so.
no, it wasn't a red landslide. It would have been 548 electoral votes. Kamala Harris would have gotten over 30. She got way too many votes.
I think you would have gotten a lot more if some stuff under the table hadn't been taken. If you know what I'm saying.
Here's the thing.
There's over 80.
This is not an old.
This
is a slightly old story, because I know when they broke ground on this, they showed video of this. This is back like 3 years ago.
Yeah, during this administration. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but these housing units were made for the homeless. Homeless. So
homeless doesn't say migrants or illegals. It should have been homeless.
It doesn't matter, because what they're doing here is it's just like the pharmaceutical things. It's the whole housing thing, where you have housing companies that are being paid to build these places. You got the social workers doing it too. Catholic Charities is involved. They're just as bad as Planned Parenthood when it comes to these things. They basically are doing this to get money. They're earning money this way by getting the people in there, doing this, doing that. It's all money laundering.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But I'm telling you right now, if I read this article and I saw this going on, and I found out it was all migrants, or not migrants, illegals. That's what I call them. All illegals living there. And down the street, there's some veterans living in the street. They're homeless. Okay. If they had, I saw a documentary where they had built those tiny homes, and it was all veterans living in them.
Yeah.
And they were going to jobs. Some of them had jobs. Some of them were just had mental illness or whatever it was. The thing is, I didn't throw a tantrum over it because it was veterans. Okay. That's the difference. Swap out the veterans for the illegals, and I'm not going to be near as upset about it.
Right.
Okay?
Because I'm the
because those people earned the right to have our tax dollars spent on them. These people earned nothing. They were brought here to be used in whatever toy, whatever shit the government's trying to do to launder money.
Right.
People, I'm just upset because where's the outrage? The people that are paying taxes.
But Maine is a sanctuary.
2 of their electoral college votes went to Trump.
So
where's those people?
The cities are
in Maine bitching
Maine
about
is no. Maine doesn't care.
There's a
Maine,
very simple solution.
They're evil.
Yeah.
There's a
What
very
is your
simple
solution?
solution. Stop paying taxes.
Yeah.
If
There you go.
everybody were to stop paying taxes, guess what? It's known as a referendum. They cannot stop you. They cannot punish you if the majority of people stop paying taxes. If everybody absolutely at the same time stop paying taxes, guess what?
You don't need to pay taxes. Taxes are ridiculous. I don't pay taxes.
Yes, I get that. But the point is, if everybody stopped paying taxes, they wouldn't have the money to do all this shit. And here's the thing. When the IRS comes to say, well, if you don't start paying taxes, guess what? It's not just them. You can't arrest everyone.
But nobody wants to be the first one to go to jail. You see what I mean? That's why people aren't doing it.
Sometimes there are people that will. I'd gladly go to jail for the fucking cause because I know that I would eventually be released. But the thing is, everybody in the United States, they're fucking cowards. They're fucking
There's
cowards.
plenty of them.
Well, I'll say
You
I'm
are
not
a
a
bunch
coward.
of fucking cowards because you do not have the guts to fucking teach your own government a lesson.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of us that
I
are
do.
afraid to be
I
the
teach
first
them a lesson
one.
every day. Sorry. I've been teaching them that lesson for the last 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, 2003 last time.
Well, I wanted to. It's almost midnight where I'm at, and we've been going for over 2.5 hours. So I was going to ask you, either one of you, if you want to talk about what your plans are this week on your channels.
Well,
What's
I got
going on?
the Sunday recap, weekly recap coming up. We're also going to be discussing Robin Hood Men in Tights. We're going to be discussing how Rachel Zegler has basically been turned on by Hollywood, or Hollywood has turned on her, as well as a couple
turned
other
on.
things.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they wish, or she wishes. But also we are Tuesdays theme streams. We're kicking off more theme streams, which are movies that flown under the radar. The Avengers from the 90s is going to be the one that is the next one up or in the pipeline. Later in the month, Home Alone 1 and 2 for the ones and twos with my friend Mara on her channel Jade Shadow. And the singles are going to be Scrooged and Mouse Hunt. Stay tuned and follow me on Twitter at OrangeHat2185 to find out more updates on that. Because, well, we do know that Christmas is within our normal streaming days. So yeah. Also, I'm trying to get above 1600 because I get the 1600 and then they freaking kick it back down to 1599 or 1598. So if I can also get to 1600, like I don't know, 1610, any help in that would really help me out, folks.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I had you guys' I don't have them though. If you guys would share your links in the chat, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll remember
Or
to
in the private chat for me, so I can share them.
I'll remember to do it because, or later on, or I'll remember to do it next time because trying to load up YouTube would only take like 30 minutes.
Well, Ruben, do you have anything you want to share about your channel?
Yeah, basically what I've been doing. Unfortunately, on the election night, I threw my back out, so I've been, and on top of that, that Friday, I believe, was when the video I was streaming through you got my channel cut off.
Sorry.
So, I don't know. No, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So, because again, I don't like YouTube anyway, but I can't post on YouTube until February 7th. But I do have my weight loss quest, which I have been putting out videos there. And then I have my main channel on YouTube, which won't do anything until February 7th. But but X, you can find me at Ruben Haynes. All the links, all my things are in my, my name. Again, Ruben Haynes. And again, that's the one thing that I'll say this. I use my real name because I don't give a fuck. Okay? I don't. Ruben Christopher Haynes. You can Google me. I'm out there. I'm everywhere because again, I stand up for what's right. And the one thing I've been posting, I'm posting on Substack, I'm posting on, but I'm doing it very sparingly now because basically what's going on here is, just so everyone's related to what's going on here. For the last 20 months, I've been homeless. I have no home. I still don't. I've been homeless, and I have no money for that set. But I finally got one client after 20 months, but it's only a short 7-week consultation, and that's it. Well, that 7-week consultation, I'll get $50,000. So wait, was it 50?
Yeah, but it might also get you some more consultations. So
yeah. Well, now that Trump's elected, that things will look better. But yeah, that's basically it. So So then just just 2 months of work, or less than that, get some money, so I can basically say again. Here's what I'm going to do. I did it before, but then I got really sick. When I get my money, I convert it to crypto, convert it to gold immediately. I don't use cash. I hate cash. Hate it. Don't use it. So that's what I'm going to do. So basically what's going to be happening is, for me, I'll put the videos out there. I'm going to get to what's going on here. Personally, at the end of January, or actually at the beginning of February, I'm fully retired. Everything got approved, so I'm fully retired, and I'm going to basically start doing things on my own. And I'll have enough funds by then to finally figure out where the hell I'm going to go. And I still don't know where I'm going to go because I don't want to. I want to get out of Illinois. Don't want Florida. Florida was actually not very red. Where I was, it was very blue.
Yeah,
And it's still very, very blue. And so I was very disappointed with Florida in that regard.
well, Oklahoma was the only state that I saw that was solid red. There wasn't any blue dots on it at all. So
right, and I'm
that's
trying
a
to
real red state.
yeah, and then so my basic tenet now, what I'm trying to find is I'm trying to find a place to go to do two things. One is to heal up and go to the gym every day. Heal up. That's all I'm going to do. Heal up and go to the gym every day, and then study and read and do the things I love doing. That's basically and change my life, and hopefully start the conversion process so I can get married eventually. And if and the thing is that what's going to happen? There's still a chance it'll fail. Everything will happen. Nothing will come through. I already have it happened. Well, no.
What's going on with me on my channel is tomorrow I'll be playing the one game with Bruce as the our dungeon master, and I'm a cleric or whatever. It's going to be a long game, at least 6 hours long, all day tomorrow, and then Sunday we'll be watching the movie Beautiful Girls. Okay. It's got like Uma Thurman and some other people in it. I've never seen it, so we're going to watch that. And I think Bear, the Gen X GM or whatever, is going to join us to do the review. So I don't know what I'm going to dress up as. I'm sure I'm going to be blonde because it looked like there was a couple of blondes in there. So if you want to see me as a blonde tomorrow or Sunday, come to watch it. But for a girl and a guy in a movie on Sunday, after we watch the movie, then we'll do the review right after. So that's what I'll be doing Sunday. Just want to let everybody know. But
what you do is just dress up like looks like one of them.
Yeah, so I'm going to dress up as one of the blondes from the movie, with whatever style of clothes they're going to wear or whatever. That's what I'll probably do once I get to watch it. And hopefully I can find some little tidbits of, like trivia or whatever about it. But I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat who come and hung out with us. I shared my shit show, Friday night shit show email in the chat. So if you think of anything and you'd like to send us a message or say something to us about how crappy the show is or how good it is or whatever, just send it to in the email, and I'd be happy to reply or whatever. And I've gotten some really good stuff from a few people about ideas for shows, things like that. And I always click on the links and try to research what's sent in. But I enjoy doing this, and I love you guys for hanging out with me and being on the show with me, because I think this is great. I really think it's good for our country. I've had 10 people that signed up to work the polls from different states. So it does make a difference. I mean, it really does. It may be small, but one day it may be big. But if we can just help one person, then we did something good. That's how I look at it. But I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. And you guys are wonderful Americans that seem to love your country and don't seem to let us get on your nerves too bad, or you wouldn't hang out with us as long as you have. But I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night and have a great weekend. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoy the outro video as much as I love it.
First off, let me convey to my family, friends, and supporters that now is not the time to gloat. We must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things in life as we do, but simply think differently on how to get there. It is now time to be the bigger man, to extend an olive branch and unite all reasonable people of this great nation. God has blessed America, and together with President Trump, we will make America great again.